of course it is.
I want to try and keep it reasonably local.
Yeah.
There's enough weirdos in Blackpool.
100%, yeah.
So many.
Yeah.
Crazy. So yeah,
I love the that Blackpool itself has got so much character as like a town, but you know, the people that are in it just really do make it, you know, what it is. Especially, it's weird when you get older though as well, because it's, I don't know, like the characters that you've known all throughout your younger years have solidified themselves as being even more, you know, stronger personalities because they've done more things. And
yeah, you see people who've been on like the music circuit for a while.
Yeah.
And they might have been a bit more, I don't know, not necessarily crazy or out there, but a bit wilder.
Yeah.
Maybe. And now they've got a bit older.
Maybe mellowed out.
Yeah. Like I see Dan from Dropout Wives.
Yeah.
Every now and then. Last time I saw him, he's like, why do you look so much more real? Like he looks like he's really made out of real stuff.
Yeah.
Rather than being a person. Like he looks like you'd knock on him.
Yeah.
He'd be like wood or something.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I've got a lot of time for those boys, mate. Like, when I was young, super young, like 13, 14, I used to go to the video shop on Red Bank Road.
Yeah.
And Dan and Giles both worked in that video shop. Yeah. So, and I was like, you know, just a young kid, like going out, wanted to make friends, and just here. When you're young, you're really interested in older people's stories and the way they are, and so many things that those guys did, conversations and things like that we had back then that still echo now with me, you know.
Yeah, still things will happen. Someone will come up and be like, oh,
I remember that. Yeah. Or like I'll have chosen to get into something because of maybe some conversations we had. Like Giles, for an example, his kind of wacky taste for film, you know, and like foreign cinema, or just looking at like intense films in a different way. I remember him recommending Requiem for a Dream, you know, that Darren Aronofsky film, and he was like, yeah, you need to check this out, man. And like, I was super young, you know, I was like 14, 15 or something. I was watching that like, wow, what the fuck is this? It's mind-blowing. But I was like, shit, I'm so glad he's put me onto that, you know, and like, yeah, but I used to always really look up to those guys back in my early teens. Like, I used to hang out with them, man. Like, I'd just go to the video shop and be like, what's going on? Like, you know, what you up to?
Yeah,
and
a bit of a social call.
Yeah.
You're getting videos as well, though, right?
Oh, yeah, I will have been doing, yeah. I will have been doing, yeah. Back then I was getting all sorts of random, but it was VHS, yeah. One thing I wanted to go on to say, though, in regards to what I was saying earlier, is, so when I was younger, I was looking up to those guys, you know, I was like 13, 14, whatever, I was looking up to them like, you know, they're really cool, they're different, or they've got their own views, then, you know, they're not kind of conforming to what everyone else is on with. They're doing their own thing, and I respect that. And I was saying about how characters themselves solidify themselves as the years go on, being the character that you knew they were, and they're even more of a character as they get older, because you've got to know them more, but they've carved their own lane, if you will, like, you know, and they're like, right, this is my vibe, this is how I am, and this is who I am, and that's kind of what I'm going with. What I wanted to say was, like, obviously those characters are still coming now in the younger years, but because in the younger generation, but because we're older, we're sometimes a little bit switched off to that. Do you know what I mean? And like, it's very easy for us to think like we know it all, if you will, and like, oh yeah, you know, those pesky kids don't know jack shit. Like, but obviously those guys were me going into that video shop years ago, and it's like, you've got to nurture that, haven't you?
I remember being in the Tash and being like, who are these, like when I was like 20 and older, being like, who are these fucking kids? And then going, oh shit, I was coming in here when I was like 14.
Yeah, that's it.
I remember somebody was stood over there looking at me, and I was like, he thinks I'm a pesky kid.
Yeah.
Oh, it's me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And you're like, oh, this club's not what it used to be and all that.
And
that's what they were saying, isn't it?
Yeah. It's hard to try and gauge that, isn't it? And know when to, you know, be respectful to it, because that's what it is. You as you're getting older, you're feeling like, you know, you're not superior, but you don't have as much time for those younger.
Yeah, especially if there's drama stuff going on, if they're causing trouble,
Yeah.
if they're being a bit wild and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I have time for being wild, you know what I mean? But not when it gets aggy.
No, no.
I'm not up for any of that.
Yeah, or just stupid.
Yeah. And like the people I hang around with nowadays, like I've not filtered people out or anything. Like I still see most of the people that I know, but I don't hang around very much with the people that I know can be trouble.
Yeah.
You know, that some stuff happens around them. You know, stuff gets aggy around them.
Yeah. You can see it a mile off though, man. And I think
Yeah.
subconsciously sometimes you just take that different path and you sort of veer away from those characters.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like,
And,
not that you still don't love them or you've got fond memories of when you did hang out, but it's just you're not on that shit anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And they still are, and that's fine.
Yeah.
It's fine. That's what they want to do.
Yeah.
What's it matter? But yeah, I just, my mental health, keeping an eye on, trying to keep an eye on my situation, keep my energy good.
Yeah.
Just can't be around that kind of behaviour.
No.
And it's the things with the youth, and it, like you see them, and they seem like they're wild, but they're not really.
No,
it's just
no.
what you were doing. It's,
Of course. They're trying to find themselves in like so many different
Yeah.
pockets at a very young, fragile age. You know, they still don't know whether they're going this way or that way,
Yeah.
or they're into this or they're into that.
Yeah.
Or,
Whereas, like you say, when you solidify that character over time, you've made more decisions about sticking to one particular type of behaviour.
Yeah.
Or whatever it is that you've decided to follow, a certain kind of music.
Yeah.
You've made a lot more decisions about that in that time.
Yeah.
Like narrowed it, to a degree it probably is narrow-minded,
yeah. It's narrow-minded but finely tuned and
Yeah,
concentrated to a point where, you're an expert in that field.
Yeah.
So, yeah, there's been like a lot of hard work, blood, sweat and tears gone into becoming that character you have
Yeah.
done. And yeah, you may have missed things over the years while you've been focusing on that, but when you meet someone like-minded who is into what you're into, then you can really open up and
Yeah.
have a lot to discuss and
Yeah,
pass
yeah,
knowledge
yeah.
on or
Yeah.
that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you do find that in the youth, and it's the same thing like you're saying, having older friends when you're a bit younger. Like you do look up to them a bit.
Yeah.
You think, oh, this guy's got experience. It might go the other way sometimes if they piss you off. Fucking old man.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what he's on about. But maybe if you're not seeking that out or not interested in that, maybe, I don't know, you just keep at a similar pace to those around you.
Yeah.
Rather than having this thing that's in front of you to look at.
Yeah.
You will, like, you've got to do something yourself almost. I don't know. Because I don't think everybody... I suppose everybody's got a couple of older friends.
Yeah, defo.
Yeah, probably. Everybody.
Maybe depending on how young you are, I think sometimes the younger guys are a bit more intimidated, aren't they?
Yeah.
But then as you get that bit older, because, well, to take it back to school years, like the difference between a 14-year-old and a 16-year-old in school is huge.
Yeah,
it's like,
yeah.
whoa, you're year 11 and I'm year 9. Like,
Yeah.
wow, there's years apart.
Yeah, you're like
But-
dragons. You're playing with dragons.
Yeah. But then you leave school and you stood in the pub next to that guy that was 2 years younger than you, and you're like, wow, like there's no difference really, is there? Like, here we are, and like,
Yeah.
we were 2 years different apart in school, but actually,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter now.
Yeah, I suppose once you get past like that 16, 18 or whatever point it is that you mature at, or
Yeah.
whatever you want to call it.
And like, but school really highlights age, doesn't it? It's very ageist.
Well, yeah, I mean, divided by age.
Very much
age
so,
apart,
yeah.
really,
Yeah, which is maybe something that they should, revisit at some point.
That'd be interesting.
I've been told, I don't know how true it is, but in certain countries abroad, if people don't like pass certain exams and stuff at a certain age, they get made to like resit that whole
to
year
sit,
again, and then so you might be 14, sat next to a 16-year-old doing the same curriculums or whatever. I think that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, I mean,
Not necessarily. I'm not all for that really.
Yeah.
I think you've got to push the development along, haven't you? Like,
Yeah.
I think the way it's worked here with age is the right way to do it.
Yeah,
But I think the divide and how clear that is, like, you're this age and like you're that age, like you should be doing, like, because it's what is it? So it's like September is when the school term starts.
Yeah.
And then there's like, depending on when you were born.
Yeah, September 6th.
Right.
So yeah.
So you were like
every
the
year I was
youngest
I've done
or the oldest in
Yeah.
your year. Like, how did it work? Were you
I
the
was
oldest? Right.
Like,
Okay.
as soon as we got back a few days later,
Right,
I'm
Okay.
12,
Right.
bastard.
Yeah.
And like, because the school year starts there for some reason, that gives you this idea that like, I've done it before you.
Yeah.
When you've not really, have you? Like, you've taken as much time to get there as he's going to take.
Yeah, of course.
Started a bit sooner.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think when it's resitting years, I think that happens in America. I don't know if it's just movies that I've seen it in or not.
Yeah.
But I think it does happen in America. Like, it's put in as like a punishment.
Yeah.
Rather than like we think this is appropriate.
Oh right.
Perhaps,
Okay.
like I think often it is like you failed the exam, you've got to sit that year again, and there's like a humiliation for the kid.
Yeah.
Because it's like a punishment type of system.
That's shit, isn't it?
Yeah. Whereas you could do that in a compassionate manner, it wouldn't cost you any extra.
Yeah.
Bit of fucking manners, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I bet you there are a lot of teachers out there doing stuff like that in a more compassionate way.
Yeah.
Which has changed quite rapidly because teachers, I don't know how far back teachers being nice goes.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
you
like
think of corporal
70s.
punishment and all that. Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, maybe if you go further back and you're looking at different kinds of teachers, like if you go back a few hundred years or a few thousand, then it's a different kettle of fish, isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, was there like schools in like Egypt? Like there was the mystery schools and stuff, but was there just a curriculum where you learnt maths and English? Well, Egyptian.
I guess so. There must have been, mustn't there? Yeah.
I wonder how long. I suppose that goes back really to the start, doesn't it? To like tribal living, you'd have someone who'd tell you stories.
Yeah.
And that's your teacher, isn't it?
Yeah, you gain your knowledge from them. But then experience is the greatest teacher as well, isn't it? So a lot of those, you know, when you're looking at history and past civilizations and stuff, like I can't help but feel as though it's a lot of it just comes from them getting out there, getting their hands dirty, doing whatever, you know, and like learning that way rather than being taught, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
So,
like experiential. Like,
yeah,
I think probably, you know, in the way we have it structured, probably hasn't been around for too long.
No.
A few hundred years. Maybe Greece? I don't know.
yeah. Maybe a little bit
colleges
after,
and
yeah.
stuff in Greece, I think.
Yeah,
I think really you should probably leave learning until after you've been a kid. Like apart from basic stuff that
that you're going to need to development, yeah.
Some like 2-day a week kind of affair, and then do your proper learning once you know what you want to fucking learn about.
Yeah, that's I agree. I think that would be great, wouldn't
and
it?
then you get to be a kid.
Yeah,
like
and enjoy
5 days
yourself.
out of the week instead of 2.
Hell yeah. And then you find who you are probably a bit quicker and what you enjoy doing. And
and then you get up to like working age and you're like, right, well I only want to work 2 fucking days a week, motherfucker. Why have we not got that sorted out yet? And then we smash the system.
Yeah.
Right.
yeah.
Bring the young ones used
Yeah.
to work in those hours.
Oh yeah, that's funny, man. Yeah, it's interesting talking about like school systems and age in general, like younger people, older people. And I think sometimes it's quite brutal when people don't necessarily do very well with education and academically fall short, and then they're just on like a slippery path then, and it's very difficult. There's a lot of pressure on them to make the change themselves.
Yeah.
Whereas obviously when you're first going into school, it's like you're all equal and you're all given the same platform to try and grow, but it all just happens at such different rates, doesn't it?
Such different like areas of interest
Yeah.
or things that the kid wants to do and stuff.
Yeah, and I think that's one of the like biggest problems in this country is that like those kids that do fall off the bandwagon of being successful or good at what they're doing is they're just cast away like quite quickly, and then that breeds a very dangerous kind of mind state and also a pattern of behaviour that is, well, fuck it,
The system for starters.
But in doing so and in making that judgment at such an early age, they're actually fucking themselves because they're like, fuck the system and fuck this bullshit. 10 years later, they're like, fucking hell, Jesus Christ.
They're in the system that they've been,
that they've been trying to quote unquote fuck.
Like
yeah,
they're stuck really deep in it.
Yeah,
potentially.
Yeah,
I think that's definitely partly the behaviour that's the issue with that, but I think also it's probably the system. Like I think the way that's dealt with, like the system that they're put into, it's not like being put into care or anything like that, but it's comparable to that, like a group of children that you treat differently sort of thing, or they have to go to a particular school, or they're segregated somehow from the population, problem kids. Do you see that thing? It's years back now, maybe 5 years. It was some teacher that was mental. Well, he wasn't mental. He was really good, but he'd like swore at the kids.
Right.
He was like for teaching kids who'd been kicked out of everywhere, and he'd be like, "No, fuck off, you cunt. That's not how we do it here."
Right.
And like, but he was also very honest with them, and very, straight down the line. Like, he wasn't like shouty disciplinarian or anything. Like, we're not trying to give that impression. He was
just coming down to their level a little bit, if
like
you will.
Humans,
okay.
Yeah, and he was doing really well with a lot of them, but it was just that, because I think the sort of idea of not swearing is pretty silly.
Yeah.
Like, I wish more politicians swore.
Yeah.
I wish someone would just go, "Fuck off, cunt."
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
from the back
Get a bit of passion out there.
Yeah. Oh, I've fucking had enough of this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You're talking utter bollocks, mate. Yeah.
It'd just be real, wouldn't it? Put
Yeah.
these weird bans on things that you have to do to be respectable.
Yeah.
And then that just encourages people, whether consciously or unconsciously, to have this idea that they're not good enough.
It goes back to the system that you were talking about, though, because these politicians that are saying all the the fancy words rather than swearing, they're a product of that system that didn't fail them and actually was a benefit to them, and they've just learnt how to play the game. That's what it is. It's all a big game.
Into a certain
exactly.
area of society.
Yeah. Or
right.
this is how it works here, and okay, like I understand what swearing is, and I'll swear when I want to, but I'll speak like this when I want to, and I'll say these kinds of words, and
you're almost making an alter ego.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's a little bit
Performance.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Whereas dude that has said fuck the system from the word go, he's still saying that now, and he's still being completely real to himself. He's not got an alter ego, or he's not performing, is he?
Yeah.
He's just doing his own thing.
Time for that.
Yeah, it'd be great to get him up in in front of the politicians to see what.
I'd love more crack whores in Parliament. Like, if a crack whore ran for Prime Minister, I would definitely vote for that crack whore.
It'd be interesting, yeah.
Yeah, I just someone whose experience of struggle a bit. I'm not saying all politicians don't. There's some working class politicians. There's some a lot of the privileged politicians have probably had some harsh shit happen in boarding school. Had to do some weird shit to get into power.
Yeah.
Some people have fucked them over.
Yeah.
I bet they've had.
There'll definitely be a few cases of that. Yeah. But there'll be a lot of silver spoon bullshit as well.
Yeah.
Which is.
It's not who we want in charge.
No, it's not, because they're nothing like us. You know what I mean? They're absolutely nothing like us.
No. And it's weird. It's kind of like the prison thing, innit? There's a lot more prisoners than there are guards, but we sort of behave.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult to organise mass behaviour though, that without it ending up being violent, or without violence being like what you do as a mass of people. Iceland did it right.
Yeah.
They did the pots and pans thing, didn't they? Like, the banks failed. And they all, like, most of Iceland, I think, like a huge number, is not very dense.
No.
They were just outside the Parliament buildings, just banging pots and pans until the government left the building. They voted in a new government, they drafted a new constitution, and they jailed a lot of the bankers. And everyone's like, "What about your international debt, Iceland?" They said, "Talk to them bankers we just put in jail, we're not fucking paying now, what are you talking about?"
Yeah.
They're doing really good now.
Yeah, they are doing amazing.
It's really good.
Yeah. It's fascinating. It is fascinating.
Because it really tanked. Like, they were the first country to really go under, weren't they?
Do you feel as though they've only been able to turn that round, though, because you're saying they're not a very densely populated country, so that has a big part to play in that, doesn't it?
Yeah, I think it's probably much easier to organise a mass.
Yeah.
Easier to piss off everyone in the country.
Yeah.
There's not as many people.
And then easier to do something about it, being the guys that are pissed off.
Yeah, because these guys are stuck on a little island with all of you.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I mean, it's similar in England, but again, it comes back to that thing of if you scale that up, very difficult to avoid violence.
Yeah.
The more people are involved, plus you get agent provocateurs sent in by the police and stuff to rile everyone up and go, "Oh, should we smash some things?
Yeah.
Should we break some windows?" And everyone's like, "Oh yeah, should we break the bank windows?" And they're like, "No, break this little old lady's shop."
Yeah. Yeah.
It's like, no, that's not how you do a riot, goddamn.
Fucking ruthless.
Break the windows in the bank, not an independent trader that's been there for several generations.
Yeah, exactly.
as bad as they might be, if they've been there for several generations.
Yeah, it's still bullshit though. Yeah.
Yeah, man. Yeah, smash something that's insured.
Yeah.
Although, like my mum used to say about her and my dad sitting on a big wall, there was a riot on. I think it was Brixton riot, and they were watching it. Like they didn't get involved or anything. They stayed on the outskirts, but they saw this shopkeeper just shepherding people into his shop, like old dears and stuff, and be like, just grab a telly, it's alright, it's insured, I'm gonna get the insurance paid.
Crazy.
Yeah, man, like that's how you do a riot properly.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, that's kind of sweet, isn't it? Yeah.
If you're a big chain shop, then, you know, fuck you.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I'm not advocating any kind of property destruction.
No.
You know, I wouldn't do such things, but...
Going back to what we were saying just then, we were talking about Iceland and them changing everything quite quickly. Do you think, going back to what I was saying about, like, because it's not so densely populated, do you feel as though they had a quicker turnaround to act on what was going on? Whereas if you compare it to us here, because we are so densely populated, maybe not all of us are getting the information at the same time.
Yeah.
And it's taking longer for it to filter through to certain sectors and different walks of life within the country. And so, you know, on Tuesday, you know, in one area of the country, dude's fucking pissed off about one thing, but that doesn't get totally found out by everyone else until the following Friday or whatever. You know what I mean, don't you?
Yeah.
Because there's so many people here for it to actually get passed around, and
the whole process should take longer.
Yeah.
By definition, like you're saying, because of the population. Iceland, that whole thing could happen really quick.
Yeah, and the turnaround was quick.
And like the process through the system probably can't be something as quick as banging pots and pans.
Exactly.
This is the Tory government we're talking about. We're not going to get them out with pots and pans.
Yeah.
We can only get them out with a vote.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. Yeah, the important vote. Yeah.
Yeah.
So vote.
So fucking vote. Yeah.
Make sure you vote. Yeah.
I've not voted every time. When Tony Blair was in power, I didn't vote. No, I voted for Greens one year.
Right.
I did vote for Greens one year, and then
When would that have been Blair then? Yeah.
Yeah. Mum was like, "Oh, you should vote Labour," and I was like, "Well, I don't know. I don't like that guy very much." And it's useless as a protest. Like that's what it was. That was me going, yeah. It's useless. But then Corbyn ran. I voted.
Yeah.
And I was like, because I was like, that seems like a human.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Backlog.
Yeah.
And people are all scared. Oh, he's a fucking communist. He's this. He's that. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. There's quite heavy media bias against it.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah.
Well, that's all controlled by the fucking Tories anyway, isn't it? So, you know.
Tories and their mates.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Fucking EU tax avoidance bill coming into effect just after we leave. Like, shit, get out quick.
Yeah.
I saw Boris Johnson's face when he announced it, and he was like, oh my god, I can't believe they actually voted for it.
Yeah.
This is amazing. We don't have to pay tax.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's mental, man. Like, they have people there, like, who are in Parliament. There's people advising from the City of London, which is a nation state like the Vatican. It's not technically England. It's a separate thing. They have all the tax and financial companies in there, the big companies.
Yeah.
So they're all advising the government on tax measures, and then helping write those tax measures.
Yeah.
And then getting really expensive clients and saying, this is how you avoid the tax, because we've just written the laws about it pretty much. This is how you get around it. We left a loophole here, here, and here. And it's just a game. It's just a game for them to cream some money off that.
It's madness. Yeah.
It's absolute insanity. And I think Corbyn would crack down on that if it's possible.
Yeah.
I don't know how possible it is.
Yeah.
But you've got to try.
Definitely.
It's not like we're at the highest rate we've ever been for business tax or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like even a Robin Hood tax, like that's 0.1% tax on any transaction that has no benefit to anybody. It's just a financial transaction, so you just swap in one amount of money for another amount of money, like on the markets and stuff. Just like a 0.1% tax of that, loads of money.
Yeah.
Loads of money for very little.
Yeah.
Really.
Well, that's for fuck all. Yeah.
Yeah. 0.1.
Yeah.
It's nothing. Like there's some kinds of tax that I don't know about VAT. Don't know if I really agree with that. It's a bit of a tricky one. That seems like a way to influence markets more than a way to influence the cost of things more than anything else.
Yeah.
Like fuel tariffs for petrol stations, like they don't really make money on fuel anymore.
No.
Because they make money if they don't have to pay the extra fees. It's lucrative.
Yeah.
But once you have to pay those taxes, you're like, right, well, it could have been £5 for that much fuel, but I'm going to have to put £15 on it because of the tax.
Yeah.
Or, you know, whatever the financial restriction is. It's fucking mental.
Yeah. It's scary, dude. Going back to what you're saying about, like, them writing the laws, though, and that kind of thing, like, you know, that's really alarming.
It's what is it, fraud? You know?
It
at
is.
least
Yeah. Yeah, we're all suffering from that, really. But what can we do about it? Because at the end of the day, we can, you know, we put our votes in and we have our opinion, but it's always just going to change to benefit those anyway. You know, the 5% or whatever it may be.
Yeah.
There's always going to be that loophole for them to take a couple of steps back and then take another
way to take advantage.
Bang, just skim this and go this way, go that way.
And that's part of the reason that I didn't used to vote, because I thought whichever way it goes, the same thing's going to happen.
It's always going to be corrupt.
Yeah, but whoever's in charge, pretty much the same thing's going to happen. They've got the same policy on most things.
Yeah.
You know, previously, you know, Labour and the Conservatives had very similar policies, really. Just one was a bit angry and right-wing.
Yeah.
And one was, like, calm and right of centre.
Yeah.
And, like, there's no real difference. The same in America, Conservatives and... Conservatives and... Republicans and Democrats.
That's right, yeah.
Same fucking bastards.
Yeah, of course,
Now they've got Donald Trump, it's a bit different because he's, like, a character president where, like, the show's about him sort of thing.
Yeah.
Whereas when it's, like, Obama, who's just following the party line to a degree, on partisan issues like abortion, they'll take opposite sides. On things that divide people, quite suddenly, sort of everyone's like either yes or no pretty quick.
Right.
They differ on those issues, which aren't really that important. Like, really, you should just have abortion available.
Yeah.
If people want it. If people want to do something with the body, you should just let them do that thing with the body.
Yeah.
It's up to them, sovereigns and all that. Everything else is nonsense.
Yeah. Like what you're saying about Donald being like a puppet on a string, though, he absolutely is. But most of them are. Most of the, you know, the prime ministers, politicians, all that sort of jazz, they are just puppets on a string.
Yeah.
There's definitely people behind the scenes, you know.
Oh yeah, like making
the bigger moves, you know. They're just the ones to be seen in you know, in the line of fire, aren't they? They're the ones that we throw our curses at.
Yeah.
But really, you know, it's some other fucker behind the scenes.
Guys with their hands in their pockets.
Of course it is.
Like, it's very difficult to get to a high position in politics, I reckon.
Yeah.
Without having a lot of hands in your pocket.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people say, you owe me this, you owe me that, you've got to do this. So I mean.
And all that sort of behaviour breeds from corruption anyway. So you owe me this, like you know, like I've done you this favour, which was a backhander that no one else knows about, you know, so on and so forth. So now you owe me one, like you know.
And it's a weird product of the environment sort of thing, isn't it, where that, you know, produces a lot more corruption because people are getting used to that. Like, oh, this is just how you live life.
Yeah.
This has worked for me so far. The more you get used to it, it's kind of like when you're starting out, I bet a lot of them have good art. I bet they maybe get into it for the right reasons.
Yeah, and then it soon.
The beliefs are,
yeah, soon changes when they see other people acting in that way and benefiting and gaining from, you know, being crooked. Yeah, they're staying, you know, straight and narrow and getting nowhere fast, and then the other guys are like,
making bare money.
Yeah, and just being completely corrupt. Yeah. So then
it's like, right, well, that's the thing to do.
Okay, I'm gonna go this way then.
Yeah, it's kind of like putting non-violent drug offenders in prison, and they're like, all right, so I'm gonna have to learn how to sell cocaine now instead of a bit of this or something. Like, it's absolute mental. Like, you're putting people who've either got a good heart or if you're getting into it for the money, then you're already that way, aren't you? People that go in with a decent heart. It's a shame, really.
Yeah, it's going to soon turn cold, man.
Yeah, because even if you're like, no, I'm going to stick it out, you get bitter.
Yeah,
and then
of course
you find
do.
Something else to get bitter about, whether it's someone's race or whatever it is, you know, whatever you want to hate on.
Or these guys are you know, acting, you know, self-righteous and everything for the cause and for what they're trying to back. but then behind closed doors, the different shit's going off, and you know they've got a fucking bag of coke and a fucking whore on the way round. But that's how it is, isn't it?
So many of them.
Yeah,
so many
course
people in power.
Yeah.
Like perversion's this weird thing that comes with it, isn't it? Because they can have most things if they want something.
Yeah.
They can mostly get it.
Yeah. And
so
that power goes.
You got to come up with new things, haven't you?
Yeah.
Cocaine.
Yeah.
Shit. Probably get out pretty early though. Like I bet the conferences in the toilets.
Oh yeah, absolutely,
on
mate.
The walls. Probably just a little butler with like one of them little trays with the silver lid.
Yeah, definitely.
Cocaine in it, man.
Yeah. It's bad, isn't it?
But at the Labour conference, they got marijuana.
Yeah. Yeah, Corbyn's getting blunted.
Yeah. It's got to happen before long, legalised.
Yeah.
I think in the UK. Too many countries now doing it.
Yeah, man.
Too many places. Amsterdam's getting a bit more conservative on it though, aren't they? Like gradually they're getting a bit more, I'm not sure about this.
I think in recent years, tourism itself has grown and city breaks have become a much more popular thing for people. Yeah. So now maybe the locals in Amsterdam or the you know, the hoteliers or the guys that are running the tourism element of things, they're a bit more conscious of it because they're like, okay, we've regulated, you know, smoking bud here and prostitution, but it has attracted a certain clientele which is very much about you know, sort of blowing the candle at both ends, right? We're gonna, you know, sort of just go here, cause carnage for X amount of days and then leave. Yeah. Whereas now, well, it's attracting another kind of traveller and another kind of tourist. So I'm just talking about tourism here, but just because it's attracted that other style of tourist who's going for a city break, you know, and they want to like have a, you know, go on the canals or, you know, go to a flower market, whatever it may be. That now is affecting everything. So they're like, right, okay, well maybe we need to pull back a little bit on you know, how many red lights are on or how much, you know, bud's getting smoked in the street because we want to keep this attraction. Yeah. Maybe that's what it is.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, they do try and keep down smoking on the street, I think.
Yeah.
I think parks are a little more lenient. Perhaps. Yeah. I don't know if that's official policy or not.
Yeah. Have you been to Vondelpark?
No. We went in a little park that was nearby us, but it wasn't Vondelpark.
Vondelpark's cool as, man.
Yeah.
It's a big park. Yeah, it's a big park. I remember being in Vondelpark, and I was off my head actually. I was shrooming, and I'd been through some like pretty hard shit. I was going through a kind of a tough time at the time, and I was with like a few guys, and the whole trip really was everything I was just fucking talking about 5 seconds ago. We were going to just cause carnage, you know, for three or 4 days. That's what we were going for. And anyway, like we had some shrooms over there, and we went for a walk to Vondelpark. And I remember this moment when I was tripping, where I was lying down on the grass. Like we were all sort of fucked at this point. And I was lying down on the grass, and I was looking up at some trees. It was probably the back end of summer, so it was approaching autumn. Nice. And there was like a breeze blowing through the trees, and the leaves were shaking, and I was really getting that body buzz as well as the you know the shroomy feeling. And then all of a sudden, I just got this like sort of wave that came over me, and all I can describe it as is it felt like I'd been you know, sort of immersed in water, and then I just sort of leapt out, and I was like sort of free again from being underwater, and I felt this from being sunk. All of a sudden I was like revitalized, if you will, and like really refreshed, and things seemed so much clearer. And
while you were tripping.
And it was almost as this breeze blew through the leaves, and it went you know, and it sort of rattled the leaves that were like beginning to harden. It sort of made this noise, and everything all happened at once. You know, it was like this noise and this and the breeze blowing as well on me, and it just sort of, it was a really poignant moment. I remember it so well. Like,
so what, like weight coming off the shoulders, or like freed and
absolutely freed from any sort of maybe negative energy I was harboring, and like absolutely a weight off the shoulders.
That carry on? Like, was that a permanent or, you know, a semi-permanent feeling after that?
Oh, I felt like I'd literally got
Probably
rid
left that behind.
100%
Yeah.
at that moment in
Yeah.
time, and it was crazy. It was
mad
crazy.
psychological benefit.
Oh,
really,
huge,
what we've got.
and people, you know, everyone should do it, man. Like, you know,
Yeah.
it's gonna benefit people if they're going in with the right approach, the right understanding of
Yeah.
what it's gonna be about.
Yeah.
You know.
And if it was, you know, regulated well,
Yeah.
if you had like a little procedure for going through just a little questionnaire or something,
Yeah.
a few pertinent numbers, a couple of blood tests to check for allergies and
Yeah.
things like that.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
you're right. This is actually DMT. It's not just something some guy made in a shed.
Yeah.
Or like, this is MDMA, and it's like pharmaceutical grade MDMA. Apparently you don't even really get a come down. Like,
Right.
you're a little bit hungover. But like,
Okay.
if you just drink water on it, don't mix it with alcohol. It's supposed to be a
You
pretty
can shake
clean-
it off.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which, massive benefit.
Yeah.
Whereas getting it from someone on the street, it's just white powder, man.
Yeah. It could
And
be
there's
anything.
So many legal highs even that are really cheap to buy.
Yeah.
Could be anything.
Yeah.
Like they're a chemical that's one molecule different from some other chemical.
Yeah.
That's not been tested in the long term. We don't know about it. You just sell that to someone instead of MDMA.
Yeah.
And how are you going to know? It's just white crystally powder.
Yes. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Whereas if you regulate it, it's so much safer. It's why drug testing at festivals is a really good thing that's coming on a little bit in recent years.
Right.
There's a lot more harm reduction stuff, sanctuaries, like places you can go if you're freaking out.
Okay. That's really good. Yeah.
Yeah. There's like more medical support, but there's also more just come in and chill out.
I mean, it's so apparent that sort of stuff's going on at festivals. Why wouldn't they do that?
Yeah.
Because if someone is going to freak out, then, geez.
Yeah, you need them to be somewhere they can sit down and get some water.
Yeah, rather than being in the middle of a field where people are getting aggy because they want to get to the front and they're nudging you or whatever. Yeah. I remember, you know, I'm sure you've been to loads of festivals over the years. I've seen some people scatting out at festivals, man, like badly. And it can have, you know, two effects. Like, people can be caring and the nice side can come out, and a bit of compassion will come out and they want to go and help that person, or that evil wicked side will come out where, you know, people will get the phones out, start filming it, or, you know, being like, geez, look at him, like, oh, fucking hell, look how wrecked he is, you know, rather than helping, they're just sort of like watching it and hoping someone else will go and help.
Yeah, or even not maybe understanding that it could be a really serious thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Yeah.
They've just had a bit too much and they're having a wig out, and it's like, well, actually, that could be like cardiac arrest.
Yeah,
or
that
it
could be life-threatening. Yeah.
Yeah.
So no, that's really cool that they've got those safe zones now, man.
Yeah, it's really good. Quite a few in the UK, I think. I think it's been running for quite a long time as like probably disguised as the chill out room or something.
Yeah.
But I think there's more interaction from people now coming in and talking to you and giving you the words. It's all right. You've just taken some drugs.
Yeah.
You're gonna feel weird. If you don't want to feel weird, you shouldn't have taken some drugs. You know,
Yeah.
Stop worrying about having the fact that you feel weird, because a lot of freakouts you can calm down. There's other ones which you can't.
Yeah.
But I think a bad trip's valuable.
Yeah, I do. I think there's a lot of good that comes from a bad trip.
Yeah, and you get to see what it is. You're like, all right, okay, this is that. So
Yeah.
if this is happening, I can remember.
Yeah.
I just had some mushrooms
Yeah.
and tried.
How do you think I think you'd be really good in one of those safe zones. I think you'd be quite good at listening to what the person was saying, or maybe not necessarily listening, but identifying where they were at. Do you know what I mean? And then you could be like, oh, dude, I think that you're peaking massively here, and like, you need to just chill, bro.
Yeah.
Like, smoke a joint or like have a fag or
I'm
whatever.
gonna get the drum.
You're gonna be buzzing in 2 minutes. You know, like, I can imagine.
Yeah, man, and that, you know, that solves hopefully, you know, 80-90%
Yeah.
of freakouts. But it's not a nice place to be
No.
at all. Like the real freakout, and if it does take hold of you and you can't forget about it, or you know, a lot of people say you should let go. Like, just let go.
What, and surrender to it.
Yeah. You hear a lot of stories about people who've been having a really bad time on acid or mushrooms or whatever, and I'm freaking out, and then you just go, hang on. You have to like be quite present in the moment and observe yourself a little bit and go, wait, and just that brings the heart down
Yeah.
quite a lot.
Yeah. Because they're watching your actions, and it's like the mirror effect, isn't it?
Yeah. It's you're being the person listening to what you're thinking rather than the person thinking what you're thinking.
Yeah.
And you just let go, just relax, and it turns into a hugely beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And that's probably part of the lesson from psychedelics is that applies in life too. You know, if you let go of the thing that whatever it is that's worrying you, if you find a way to let go of it,
yeah,
if you can, you know, it's not going to be as bad, and it's easy to say.
Yeah.
But holy shit, it's a bad place. I had to stand. I remember I was having a lovely time, first time I had mushrooms. Lovely time.
Yeah.
And for some reason, before I really knew what peak was.
Sorry, dude. Yeah.
No, you're right.
Yeah, nice one.
Before I really knew what like the experience was, first time doing it, so I didn't know when the peak was. I just knew that it was intense. I remember...
This is on Shrooms, by the way,
This is on Shrooms.
Okay.
So I remember thinking, oh, I know it would be a good idea, because this is fun. Oh, that's weird stuff good. This is fun. I'll put some Slipknot on.
Right.
Put some Slipknot on really loud.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And I sat down for a bit, and it wasn't pleasant. But I just carried on leaving it on. It was me and Max.
Right.
And so I was sat down, and he was lying down on the bed facing the wall, and then I felt the urge for some reason to go and stand in the corner of the room and like lean with my head right into the corner,
right,
like Blair Witch, and then I just did that for like half an hour. Well, it felt like a long time.
Yeah, it's probably like 2 minutes. Yeah.
And then I didn't like. All I heard, "What the fuck are you doing?" And Max had turned around and seen me and freaked him out. And then I decided to try and sleep mushrooms off. So I led down and closed my eyes in the dark, which you know when you're peaking isn't going to calm anything down.
No, I've been there, bro. Yeah.
And it just wouldn't end. Like I just there with my eyes closed, trying to sleep. Struggled to sleep at the best of times, but that just couldn't sleep at all. Freaking out. Went down to the shop to get some Rizzlers. Max had to count money out in his hand. He brought some change, and he was like, to the shopkeep, just like putting his hand full of change.
I love that helpless feeling of doing such a trivia day-to-day thing. It's just so alien to you at that moment in time, isn't it?
Even like finding a thing.
Yeah, or trying to remember what you were trying to find.
Yeah.
Like, why have we come here? Why are we in this shop?
But and then the trick is to let go. Like I found that with smoking one time when I had mushrooms. I was like, I need a rollie, right? Got to find the skins, the filters, and the tobacco, and I couldn't for the life of me for like hours. And then at one point, it's like, I've got the skins. And then at one point, I remember being stood near the bathroom and remembering that I'd needed to piss for like an hour.
Yeah.
And being like, I'm right next to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I'm stood where I need to be, and I've remembered it. Yes.
Yeah.
But yeah, couldn't find cigarettes, and again, let go of that.
Yeah.
Because what you're trying to do? Why are you trying to do something?
Yeah, enjoy this moment, and then you'll find your fags in 10 minutes or whatever.
Yeah. Well, once you've stopped panicking, it's like finding something once you stop looking for it. Sort of.
Yeah. Going back to you saying about putting Slipknot on and that having like an effect, like, what do you think of music on drugs?
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I wouldn't like to say much better, much improved, but you can get those same airs without drugs. It'll just take you like 40, 50 years of meditation.
Yeah. Trying to understand shit. Yeah.
Yeah.
I remember getting really fucked years ago, and I had an idea. A lot of the heads I used to like hang about with listen to dance music.
Yeah.
So, and it was quite good because you'd be rushing, and it'd be like real high tempo stuff, and it was all about energy. But I was like bang on into my hip hop, back then, and I remember going to one sort of party where we were all getting. I took a Busta Rhymes CD, and I wanted to play Busta Rhymes because of how fast he was, and how much energy he was, he was delivering.
Which album was it?
I can't even remember now, man.
When Disaster Strike?
Yeah, I think it was.
That was dope album.
Yeah, and I think the tune I wanted to play the most was the single with Janet Jackson. It's kind of a it's quite a melodic. It's a bit spacey. The track itself is a bit.
I can't recall the
but
hook.
his flow on it is just so like smooth and like it's just so fast. Like it's just it's flawless, you know. And
yeah, they did the video.
Yeah, they did a video and it was in some sort of spaceship or something. Yeah, it was really cool. So we were all fucking buzzing our tits off, man. Like we were fucked, and like dance music was pumping. And I'd built up this idea in my mind of, okay, we're going to listen to this Busta Rhymes tune and it's going to be quality. Yeah, it's going to blow up. Yeah. And we put it on and within like 30 seconds, like a few of the heads in there were like, fucking hell, bro, like we can't, we need to turn this off. Like this is not a vibe. Like we need our dance music back on again. And it was really weird because I was like, shit, I had this amazing idea of how this was going to sound. But this hasn't gone how I was expecting it to, and that's why I asked about what you think about, you know, sort of music on drugs. And I think going back to what we were saying before about how you let it be what it is at the time, like if you put a record on or whatever it is that you're putting on, you sort of just go with it and you like you know, whatever happens. If you try and make something happen, like, right, I want to make this tune, I want to put this tune on because it's going to make it, like, really more intense, or sometimes you're playing with fire there, sometimes it'll work, sometimes it won't, and if it doesn't work, then there's, like, this extra baggage you've got then, as you're taking the CD out, or whatever, you're like, oh, shit.
Yeah,
you're double-checking yourself.
Your expectation, haven't you? You've put that baggage there ready. I think, you have to do it when the time is right, not when you want to do it.
Yes, exactly.
Or find the place where it's wanted.
Yeah.
Not try and do it just where you are.
Yeah, and impose it. Yeah. Whereas...
Well, it should fucking work, mate. Busta Rhymes is
fire,
tell
me, man, and that fucking tune as well, like, I was totally gone. I was like, I was immersed in his flow, and I was just like, shit, this is fucking intense, you know, and then like, after about 10 seconds I was looking at everyone's guns getting a bit more like angry, like what the fuck's going on, where's our fucking hardcore techno, and mate, I used to love listening to that shit when I was buzzing my chops off, because it is great, you know.
It's high tempo, it's got all these like high frequency
loads of mad samples and stuff like that, so I was all game for that, but you know, I couldn't get 3-4 minutes of Busta Rhymes out because it just wasn't the right vibe. Whereas I think of a story complete opposite end of the spectrum, and this isn't even that long ago, this is probably only 2 or 3 years ago, and I was tripping off Shrooms in Blackpool with a couple of guys. I won't mention the names, but they'll know who they are when I tell this story. And we were fucked, man. Like we didn't have doses, we just got like a massive big mound of mushrooms, dry, and we just literally, just handfuls of this shit. We'd been shooting a video actually, we'd shot a video, but that was just like sober. So we went back to someone's gaff and we munched these shrooms, and then we went out. So this was like midnight or something, and there was 3 of us tripping. And this is before Blackpool was as, I mean, it was obviously still dodgy back then because it's only a couple of years ago, but I don't think I'd do this now. Maybe it's because I'm that little bit older, or I don't know. But anyway, we just fearlessly like necked these shrooms at like fucking 11:30 midnight, and we were like, right, we're just going to surrender to the night. Like, we're out in Blackpool all night. And man, I could literally talk to you for an hour about some of the shit that happened. Like, it was a fucking hardcore trip. But the reason I'm bringing this story up is... towards the end of the trip, some of the guys I was with, like, they got hungry and they went for like a burger or something, and I was still fucking mangled. Like, putting food near my mouth right now is just not a vibe. I cannot get down with that. And then we went from the takeaway over to the prom, and we sat in one of the like hut things on the promenade near where we were today. And we were just sat in this hut, and the 2 guys I was with smoked weed. I haven't done for years, but obviously I was happy to just be jamming with them there. So they started trying to roll a biff, and like, going back to what you were saying before, it was like 10 minutes later, oh yeah, I've got the skins in my hand, haven't I? Like, I need to roll a joint. The whole reason I brought this story up is, musically, I said, oh, let me see what I've got on my phone, and I'll just play some music. And I found a Bjork album that I'd put on my phone probably months prior. Yeah, maybe I'd listened to it once or twice. Probably hadn't gone through the entire album when I'd listened to it. But mate, Jesus Christ, like we just hit play and like we were transported somewhere else, like, and it was one of those moments where it was fucking perfect, you know.
Pretty shared between the group.
100%. It was like the music was on and the silence spoke volumes, and the guys were like, after maybe like 3 or 4 songs, they were just like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, that's sort of what it was like. And even I was like, what actually have I just put on? You know, like, this is fucking insane. I've heard this before, but I've never heard it like this, you know. So, going back to what I was saying, it's like, you can maybe intend for some music to be heard in a certain way, but but it won't.
Works, yeah.
Or you can just, like, let it happen naturally, like you were saying. And
I think, the crowd's probably important.
Yeah,
if you're gonna choose it. But nobody knows that, do they?
No, of course.
You don't know that until you do it that one time, because I've done that before.
Yeah.
Many times, right.
yeah. Yeah.
But then, as I grew older, I learned to live with it and just play what I want. Yeah. No, but there's a vibe to that. Like, I like to get away with it sometimes, but I don't do it too much. Like, I used to like.
What do you mean, like playing tracks that you want to hear yourself? Cool.
Definitely, a lot of the time I do that. I do try and tailor it to the particular thing and not play certain tracks. Sometimes I'm like, I should truck this proper heavy track in there.
Yeah.
I go, no, I shouldn't, because there's no other heavy tracks in this. So it'll just be song.
Yeah.
You know, and the structure's not really great. But I used to like to just play absolutely what I wanted, which was nothing anybody wanted to hear. And I used to, like, one of my aims would be to get people out of the club, make people go outside.
Right, okay.
Like, I wanted it to be that offensive. So I just wanted to play the heaviest sounds that I could find.
Did you used to DJ in the Tash?
No. I did just a few nights here and there. A few nights with Will Relic.
Yeah.
And Lee He, where there was one night at Junkbox. I'm like, yeah, come on, so I went on first. I was playing some pretty smooth stuff first, like it was mellow vibes, because I'd set my set up so it'd be like mellow vibes.
Right.
And then getting a bit heavier, but not going too far, because I was only the first act on. But that was my opinion of it, and I played like 3 mellow tracks and then went blah blah blah, and everyone left the dance floor.
Yeah, they wanted mellow Levi.
Yeah, because the mellow tracks were going down well, the people dancing. It was like my first DJ gig.
Right.
And there's like a few people dancing, and I was like, this is pretty good.
Yeah.
And I just put on that American dubsteppy sort of blah.
Yeah. Industrial sounding.
Yeah. Everyone left.
Oh shit.
And I was like, the rest of my set's like this. I'm onto the heavy, like.
Yeah. Fuck.
I'm onto the middle now.
Yeah. I've blown all my mellow shit out in the first 5 minutes. Yeah.
Shit. So yeah, I like playing more mellow stuff now, dude, because it creates a different vibe. But I reckon if you play really heavy, horrible sounding stuff, if you play it quieter, so it's more like if you think of like the ambiance in like a bar with not like classical on, but like maybe reggae on in Amsterdam. It's not booming.
No, but it's
places.
there.
It's background, like cafe music.
Yeah.
If you play like really heavy dubstep at that level, where everyone can talk really comfortably.
Yeah, but it's still there in the background.
Yeah, then you get the vibe without the annoyance.
Yeah.
Like, fucking hell! I'm trying to talk to someone here, and what is this? Or, I'm trying to have a good time, what is this horrible stuff?
Yeah.
So you can't really do it for having people dancing, but for like a chill house party.
Yeah.
You
That's
get
cool.
quite a good vibe out of it. I've played some really heavy shit a couple of times.
Yeah, and just turn the volume down.
Yeah,
That's interesting,
yeah.
I like that.
I did a nasty dubstep set for one of the Halloween parties we did, and that was just pretty quiet. But it was good vibes, because Halloween is supposed to be a bit spooky, so I was just like, I'll find the spooky ones.
Yeah.
They've got like organs and shit.
Yeah.
Da-da-da.
So one thing you touched upon then I think we should delve into is so music, right? Some people will just have it on as a background noise, and they just get on with their own shit and it's there. Or people like me will obsessively sit, and my undivided attention goes into every second of that project. numerous amounts of times picking layers, trying to understand each part of it. And me being that kind of music listener, I just don't understand how people can have background music.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, like a fucking bit of reggae and damn, yeah, I get that. I remember discussing the project that we've obviously worked on, Sinking Ships, coming soon, motherfuckers, go cop that. But yeah, so when I was writing all that shit, I remember telling you I was listening to a lot of dark jazz at the time.
Oh,
Do
yeah,
you remember?
yeah,
And I was
yeah,
saying
yeah.
it was sort of light off, you know, candle burning, pen and pad in my hand, and some dark jazz on
That's
it.
That's a serious place.
Definite.
Lights off, dark jazz. That's a serious place.
Hell yeah, and that's where, you know, I was, and that mood music, yeah, that was creating moods in me, which was then obviously fueling the fire for my lyrics and for what I was writing. So, but
it's quite free in tempo, isn't it? So you can.
Yeah.
You're not like writing to.
I'm not writing to the rhythms or anything. No, I'm just literally exploring ideas. Yeah.
And that's your. I suppose it's like an engine, isn't it? It's like a bit of inspiration or something.
Absolutely, yeah. Like if the track itself is going from, like, you know, one sort of mellow moment to like a darker moment, that's sparking a emotion in me that's creating a thought pattern and process. So I'm writing, and
almost a psychological sampling or something.
Yeah, and it's like free writing. So like I'll write the same line 4 times, but just change one word each time, or things like that. You know,
just experimenting.
Yeah, but what, going back to what I was saying is, you know, the listening to music element to me is just so fucking important, man. Like I can't not listen to it, and I treat every album the same. Like I'm always like, right, you know, I need to, you know, give this my undivided attention, and I need to give this multiple listens. Yeah, I will maybe listen to the odd project and get a vibe from it and enjoy it, and maybe not revisit it. But I've been like a film. Oh yeah, watched that, it was good. Yeah, this happened, and can't remember actually, but yeah, it was good. You know, like that kind of thing. But an album that's hard hitting, I'll be spending so long with it. I'll be peeling back those layers, and every given moment I'll be fucking studying it almost. You know, I'm doing the washing up to it.
Yeah.
I'm getting up and walking to work to it.
But you're not doing it passively, like it's background music. Like that's
no.
music as a function and as a background, but it's not passive.
No, it's obsessive. It's I need to figure out what these lyrics are about. I need to, or what this music's about. I need to figure out why they've chose to make it in this way. Why's the songs in these order? You know, why have they done this here? Why is this there? Yeah, is there? Yeah, of course. If it's done properly, there's thought in that. Absolutely, and that's I just can't see it any other way. That's how it is, and sometimes people will talk to me about, oh yeah, you know, check this project out, or like I've listened to like maybe this track of this guy, or one or two things here or there, and I just can't understand it. Do you know what I mean? And I'm like, what? Like,
what about the album?
Yeah, like what about from start to finish? Like, what about this part of it where it's gone happy, and then this part where it's sad, and like you don't. It's almost like I feel as though saying, well, actually, dude, like you don't have a clear understanding. You know, but then is that me being too intense, do you think?
I think, you know, maybe if you were to do it in like a way that was detrimental to the other person.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about intent, really, isn't it?
But I suppose in my mind, I'm thinking that thought, and I'm thinking, well, okay, so like you've only listened to this, or you've only listened to that album once, and you've made a certain judgment of it, and you've reached a point of it, but.
Yeah, I don't know. I suppose like you've got more knowledge of it though. I bet you could probably pick something and go, if you're into that, you should definitely check out this album, because this album's along the lines of what you like about that track or whatever. You know?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, but don't have to do that all the time.
No, the background music side of it is something that I've never really quite understood. You know, never really understood it, man. Like, if the tunes are on, then I'm fucking listening.
Yeah.
Do you know, that's first. That's what I'm doing, and then anything else is secondary. You know.
Yeah. Man. I can dig that. I mean, I find that I do both. Like, I will often get lost in a song when I'm doing something though. Like, often it will take over, but sometimes I'm doing the washing up more than I'm
Yeah, that's normal though, man. I reckon getting lost in a song, like say a song with some very dense, heavy lyrics in, you know, you'll still be thinking and sussing that lyric out 20 seconds, 30 seconds after it's been said. So like you do definitely get lost in it, but then all the more reason to revisit again, innit, and replay that again. So because what you're gonna pick up after that line that you've just been trying to figure out for so long, like you know. And I guess that's why I'm so obsessed and so into it, is because I'm constantly looking for that next riddle to unfold and to unravel and to try and figure it out and then get to wherever it's trying to take me to. You know what I mean? Like, it's like a journey, isn't it?
Push you towards whatever. Trying to work out how something works and then extracting a bit from it, extracting something from it that you can keep.
Yeah, so
bit of knowledge.
So to go back to like the point I'm making is like, so if that's background music and I'm just gonna nip and throw some bleach in the bog and miss 4 or 6 lines that this guy's saying, that's very dangerous. I might miss some I might that's how I look at it, you know. And it's don't get me wrong, dude, I'll put some fucking tunes on in the background and not, you know, necessarily sit and fucking intensely listen, but I do spend a lot of time sitting and intensely listening.
You can also vibe, can't you? So like if I'm doing the washing up, I'll put on something with a bit of a beat.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit of a vibe to be like, oh, fucking washing up, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I need something to pick me up here, yeah, I get
Which is escapism, like you should do the washing up to do the washing up, really. You should be present in the moment and not be trying to distract yourself. Like, oh, if I do this, then this will be okay.
Yeah, this will soften the blow of
it'll be okay.
8 plates that are piled up. And the one on the bottom was from 8 days ago.
Yeah, it doesn't come off easy. Shit.
Oh, it's funny, man.
Yeah, man. But like, whereas really, it'll be okay anyway.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's a reason to not put some music on.
Yeah. No, that's true, man. Yeah. We had to touch up on music during our chat, didn't we? Obviously, like I had to.
Yes, man. It's been too long now.
Yeah.
For the sinking ships to come out.
Oh, mate, I'm so excited. It's been a very interesting project, man. Do you know what I mean? Very interesting, and the writing process behind it, from me, was all experimental. I know I've told you before, but I was playing with different styles of writing and writing 4 lines at a time, but making the 3rd one not necessarily rhyme, so it was more descriptive, and then it was leading to that 4th line, making a bit more impact with the, you know, when I'm delivering it.
When it comes back in.
Yeah, so it's like a punchline, but it's not necessarily a joke, it's just a punchy delivery on that 4th line, and some people that are listening may understand what I'm on about and some may not, but that was the theme of my writing process behind everything that we did.
Yeah.
Initially, and then obviously it changed with stuff like No Strings, where I wasn't necessarily sticking to a strict, like, right, I have to write in this style. I was just going with whatever, you know. Or No Filter is not written in that style either, but then American Dreams is, or Lunar is, or some of the other earlier songs that were written and planned out were all written in that style. And it's nice, man. Like I do tend to try and keep writing in different styles for different projects.
Yeah, so
I'll do like, right, I'm gonna do a personal album, so I'll get really personal and talk about heartbreak and you know, this and that and the other, and then I'll do an album with NSR, big up Matty and Tony, and I'll just be braggadocious and like, right, I'm gonna write punchlines for this, or go around to another producer's, big up Garth, Bamboo Hands, Hooper Stacks, and do some crazy shit like Somar or Indian based stuff or whatever it may be. I just love being able to change it up each time and keep it interesting for me, because essentially that's all I'm doing it for, you know. Like I'm not really doing it. I'm not doing it for anyone else. I'm doing it for me, and it's my, you know, creative output and my enjoyment. I get so much enjoyment from it, that's why I'm doing it, you know. But it's nice to change it up though and keep it interesting as well. So with the project that we did, is that was the theme at first, was that style of writing, which if I didn't say that to someone, they might not even pick up on that, you know.
Yeah, it's possible. I think maybe the ear, you might not consciously pick up on it, but I think the difference, you're going to be like, oh, that's not how lyrics normally work.
Yeah.
I think but I think it's interesting, this process of doing something different each time, because each time you're learning something new, and then that's going on to the next one. And
Absolutely, yeah.
yeah, so you bring in all these new ideas and influences to every new project, and taking on something
And still
new.
growing, yeah, that's true, that's true.
Not like waiting and being like, all right, well, I can do this for a bit now.
Yeah.
Like always trying to add a string.
Yeah, definitely.
An interesting way of doing.
Yeah, because I feel as though music's like that in general, in regards to like you be into a certain genre. So let's say you're a metalhead and you're bang on into your metal. There's so many different styles of metal. You could probably listen to like a themed project that's like a romantic love story album, yeah. So you could listen to that emotional attachment. Your emotional attachment is there with that record because it's those themes are there. Or you can listen to some like angry, riot music type shit, like let's go and fucking kick some doors in type of style music, yeah. Because those artists are making that in that style. Or then you could listen to some, I don't know, man, like some fucking trippy shit or whatever it may be. And so in the one genre of music, there's so many different styles, and it's all there for you to go and find, and it's there for you to decide whether you like it or not. And I guess the way I write is the same sort of principle. It's like, right, okay, I've gone through this and this in my life, like, and I'm feeling emotional about it, so I'm gonna write it down and get emotional and make an emotional project. Or now I'm feeling like, right, okay, I'm feeling fucking wacky about something. I've got some crazy ideas, so I'm gonna take it there.
Yeah.
Or I've just been traveling around India.
Yeah.
I fucking
Sick
love it.
album,
Yeah, I
Indian
fucking
Ink.
yeah.
Holy shit.
Thank you, bro. I loved my time there, and it was so beautiful that I was compelled to write about how beautiful it was. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
So in the one genre of hip hop, I've explored so many different styles of writing because writing's endless, isn't it? And it goes back to what I'm saying about like the metalhead or whatever genre it may be. Even though it's one style of music, there's so many different takes on it.
Yeah.
Because there's so many different ways to express yourself and
so many different people doing it.
Yeah, of course.
This community of like inspiration that's there for everyone to draw on.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of the time it's probably social initially, the reason why you end up in that one type of music.
Yeah.
It's probably the people that are around and stuff like that, like a lot of social influences.
Yeah, definitely.
But over time, obviously, you solidify that bit. But like you say, all these different things are present. They're present in all genres, really.
Yeah, and all art. Whether it's a painter who's the happiest person in the world, and they're painting beautiful pictures of how beautiful nature is and love is and all that, and then something happens that changes an outlook, and because life is experience, man. Do you know what I mean? And then they are like, right, okay, so I've experienced this. I've not put the paintbrush down. In fact, I'm going to paint even more now, and I'm going to keep painting my love pictures and the pictures of nature, but now I'm going to paint some darker pictures about death or whatever it may be. And it's, there's no excuse to sort of stay in one lane and just keep chugging away with that. I think you've got to keep exploring different styles of what you do, whether it's you're a metalhead and you are sort of you're on some extreme shouting type vocals, like okay, let's go and kick some doors in for a full album, but then let's talk about the heartbreak of whatever it may be, and it's different.
And then they turn the distortion down for one song. You're like, oh, this is like cool desert stoner music. I quite like this.
Boom, we're in the desert now. We're fucking following dung beetle tracks. This is a vibe.
It's all like low sun on the sky. It's blasting out your car stereo.
Yeah,
it's all cool, man. And because there's all these different people, then that can lead you down different paths. And I think it's interesting sometimes as well to keep an eye on the things that you don't like.
Yeah.
And just keep an open mind that, oh, maybe there's something I can take there. Like this is something like, oh, actually that one tiny part of this song that's otherwise shit, that's pretty interesting.
That's okay, yeah.
Or I've never heard that before. I always like to hear things I've not heard before. Yeah. Sounds I've never heard before.
Yeah, no.
That's why I liked all that stuff.
Yeah. But it's just something that's different, isn't it? As soon as you hear something that is different and challenging, then you just you just want to hear more of that.
Yeah. There's a lot of challenging music out there.
Definitely.
A lot of challenging, just weird, like jazzy, off the wall. Not like jazzy like the sound of jazz, just jazzy.
Yeah,
and
just
weird.
quirky. Yeah.
So much bonkers stuff with YouTube and stuff nowadays, especially.
Yeah.
Everyone can be heard. You can, like early days of MySpace, there was some weird fucking bands on MySpace.
Definitely, man. Yeah.
People making these noises that I'd never heard, would never have heard, because before that it was radio on it, really.
Yeah.
Radio and telly, and they told you
what was popping.
CDs.
Yeah, CDs with magazines. That was a big influence for me, man.
Yeah.
Like, when I was younger, definitely go and pick up a magazine with a free CD on it, listen to that, decide what I like from it, and then explore further. Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of people our age would remember that sort of shit.
And Metal Hammer and shit I used to play all the time.
Yeah.
There were some fucking weird bands on there that never did anything else. There were some sick bands.
Yeah.
Crazy good bands. There was a shit hot cover of Crazy Horses. I can't remember who it was by because it was on an obscure Metal Hammer CD.
Right.
Like, there's still songs that I remember from those CDs.
Yeah, and that's amazing. But then that shows how important it was, and how the physical element of music then was so relevant. You had your CD that you just pulled off a magazine, and like, that was something you had in your hand, and you put it in your CD player and listened to it.
You probably had an interview with some of the acts.
So it was showing a bit of like personal, people's personalities, and you got to like maybe know the artist a little bit more or whatever, whereas that physical element now isn't so relevant really, with YouTube being so instant. You can go on it, which there's some beautiful benefits to that, but then there's also a lot of mystery that's been lost. I remember years ago going to like markets and trawling through pile after pile of vinyls or CDs or whatever it may have been to find that diamond in the rough. And trust me, when I found that fucking diamond in the rough and went home, I was the happiest dude on the planet, man. I was like, shit, I've heard so much about this album, like I can't wait to go home and listen to it. I'd sit, like, full hour, undivided attention, boom, I'm absolutely buzzing. And that was such a great feeling that unfortunately now I just don't think people really get, because it is so instant that you can just go online and find it straight away. And
do you find the same satisfaction if you find someone on YouTube that you're really into and you've not heard before?
Oh yeah, definitely.
But then you need to go and get the album and
you
can
and support. Absolutely.
And, find out what the whole story is behind that thing they've made.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, I'm mad geeky with it. Like, I go on a lot of forums still. Right. I'm well involved with all that sort of stuff. Yeah. And so sharing, new releases, and people will, to the point of it getting quite, like super geeky territory. Like, will, on some of the forums that I still go on now, that I've been going on for fucking 10 plus years, that are still active, man.
Been in the game,
yeah, and well, some of these ones were like going way before I was getting involved as well, but still amazing that it's still going. But yeah, like some of those guys will say, right, okay, so there's like 5 new projects that have come out, like, by some of these artists that we don't know necessarily that much about, but they're affiliated with this label or that label, so there's a potential that it'll be good. So it's like dishing out records, like, right, who's checked out Sinking Ships? Who's checked out this band, who's checked out that band?
Oh, that's a nice format.
Yeah, so then it's like, then people are like, oh yeah, I did check that out and it was fucking shit. And then next band's popping up like, oh, actually, like, what the fuck? We were listening to the same thing. I loved it. And then, and it's just cool that, like,
you get a bit of discussion.
And just share your thoughts on it and stuff like that. But
real people.
That real fans, and you can identify with those forum users because you know what they're into. So like, say for instance, there's like certain users on the forum that I go on that I know if they've got something to say, I'm going to be interested in their opinion based on what they've said previously, of what they've enjoyed or what they've disliked, and what feeling they've got out of something in particular that I've felt similar feelings for, or you know what I mean, like, so to go back to your question of like the blessing of being able to frequently stumble across amazing new stuff. Like, it's a beautiful thing.
From God knows where.
Yeah.
In some basement in Philly that you might not have actually ever heard.
Yeah, exactly. Like the one for me in recent years, which was last year. If anyone listening is interested, they should go and check out an album by a guy called Emay, E-M-A-Y, and the album's called Illa, which is I-L-A-H, which is, I think, God in a different language. I'm not sure. But the dude is a young guy, I'd say early 20s, Canadian fella, and I was on this forum, and one of the dudes that goes on there regularly that has very similar opinions to me and likes the same sort of shit that I do. He said, "Oh, people, you need to check this guy out," and I listened to it, and I cannot. I was gobsmacked. I was speechless. I was fucking speechless, mate. At every track, one after another, I was just like, "Oh my God, this is one of those moments where." Yeah, I need to pick the pen up right now. I need to sharpen my game. This is so good that it's inspiring me, and I need to get better immediately. You know what I mean? Like, because this is insane.
Yeah, this guy's doing it. I need to.
It was mind blowing, and so for that side of it, it's a beautiful thing. But going back to what I was saying is, I feel so sorry for the youngsters out there that have got the same passion that we have for music, that will never trawl that pile of 100 CDs or 100 records to find that one that they've never heard, and they pick it up based on the cover, and they take it home and they put it in, and it fucking bangs, and they're like, "Shit, I'm so glad I got this. I've never heard of this group, but they are sick."
Yeah, and you got to do a few where you take it back home, you're like, "This was shit."
It's got to be for every 10 you take home.
Covers.
Amazing
good artwork. I'm gonna love this.
Yeah, and it's fucking pap. But no, for every 10, you get 9 that are shit, and then you get that one where you're like, wow.
Yeah, that one's worth it.
Yeah, definitely. Oh, wicked though. That's something that I've got fond memories of, man. Trawling through so many different records and. Yeah, man, it's cool, isn't it? How it goes.
The kids these days hopefully get, that same kind of feeling.
Yeah.
Going through the digital sort of aspect, hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's just a bit different now, isn't it? It's just so much more disposable.
Yeah, and not really there like it's on YouTube or computer.
It's not a CD you just pulled off a magazine.
No.
That you really like, so you're going to look after it and put it in your top drawer, make sure it doesn't get lost or scratched. Don't scratch that fucking CD. You know what I mean? Like,
those precious ones.
Yeah, that physical side of things. But man, like, things are changing in the world to a level where physical things aren't so much of importance, if you will, nowadays. With how instant things are. Like your fucking. Your bank card is on your phone and you're making payments, flashing your fucking screen at a contactless PDQ. Weird as fuck, man. Like, shit is getting crazy, isn't it? Like.
I mean, like, the digital world is going to be mad. I think for music, like, I'm really excited to see what happens with VR and music.
Yeah.
Bjork's ahead of the game, as she always is.
Legend.
She's done a VR album that you can listen to. You can either get an app and listen to some of it. I think...
What, is this out there now?
Yeah, it's been out for a little while now.
Wow,
maybe
that
6
sounds
months.
fucking brilliant.
It's insane, man. Like, you get an app, so some of the tracks are games, some of the tracks are more like an interactive video.
Amazing.
But like, it's for VR, and she did a few installations, I think, at museums. This is where a lot of VR is being done, really, for museum exhibitions and art exhibitions. So you go to the museum and you're in an environment and all this weird shit's going on, and you've got the surround sound, so the high-res audio going on, and it's this full experience. I've not got a chance to have a go on it.
I'd love to fucking do that, man.
Get the app on your phone and get a little £5.
She's fucking steps ahead of the game doing that shit. A lot of people will follow suit with that, though, and that's going to add such an interesting element to just the experience. If you're listening to a concept album about, being lost in the woods or whatever, like that's coming to life. That's coming to life. That's really huge. That's huge. Yeah.
And also on the creative side for music, so you could just there's some places where it's like a VR pop-up thing that they do sometimes, where you put the headset on and they teach you how to paint. So you're just painting in the air, so nothing's happening in real life, but you see like it tracks your hand and makes a mark. So you can make like 3-dimensional like drawings that you can walk around and stuff. So you could make an instrument.
Okay.
And then you could play it, like you could make an instrument that makes whatever noise you want, and
right.
your interaction with it can be running around it, or you know, like like doing Tai Chi, you could have some kind of Tai Chi synth.
Yeah, like Tai Chi harp.
Yeah,
that would be fucking wicked.
Yeah. Just for any motion, like you could assign different things to it.
Yeah.
It's going to come more into the performance as well as the creative side.
Yeah.
You can have, I think there might be one of the tracks on the Bjork that's part interactive, like the actual playing of it. Like you have to do something, and that makes the song progress. So you can do it at different speeds, or.
That's fucking bonkers, isn't it?
I
That's so
that
exciting.
I'm not 100%. But
it's probably the way it's going to go, though, isn't it? Yeah.
Like really interact. Everything's going to be a game. Like education would be much better as a game.
Yeah.
You should have a lot of time away from screens.
Yeah.
Also, probably when you're small.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a great idea to have a phone that close to your face.
No. It's just sapping you, isn't it?
Yeah. But for like colleges and stuff, even high school. And also augmented reality, where you've just got the glasses, so I can still see you in the Gypsy Caravan, but there's a layer of stuff. Like we're creating a new dimension of stuff that lives on top of real stuff that you can see when you've got the glasses on.
Wow.
So you could like be walking in Blackpool and be like, oh, there's a dragon.
Oh yeah, there's a palm tree. Yeah.
Or somebody could be playing some kind of game in the street, and maybe you'd have an avatar.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
Have codes with clothes with QR codes on that just put a costume on you for anyone that's wearing the glasses.
Okay.
So you're looking at potentially the fall of capitalism there, really, because people aren't going to have to buy. You just buy a plain white T-shirt with a little code on it, if you even need that. And anybody that's got the glasses on
will see
you in your World of Warcraft armor or whatever. You know? Right, so you won't need to go out and buy a jazzy T-shirt. There'll be places you can buy them online, like selling digital T-shirts. But there's also the Pirate Bay. You know, there's going to be a way to do that for free, and there's going to be a lot of people that are going to do it for free on purpose, just because it's fun to design a T-shirt, like for like merch and stuff, fans and stuff. Like just fucking design a T-shirt. You don't have to pay to get it printed.
That's fucking insane. Digital T-shirts,
digital, everything.
Yeah.
Like and architecture as well. Like the future seems like it's really far away. Like the idea of these pointy skyscrapers and like really futuristic looking cities, but really, as soon as AR is good enough, you can just map cities, because Google's already mapping cities in 3D, in good detail. So you can have a building and just make it look like whatever the fuck you want if someone's got the glasses on.
Yeah.
You just design the shape around it. Interior design, you could have just a blank house.
Yeah, you could just
like
change it up every week.
Yeah. You don't need to go out and buy diamonds. You've got a big pile of them there.
Yeah.
You know, you could be living inside a cave.
It's kind of weird though, because then you're in Matrix territory.
Yeah.
Where it's like, okay, what we becoming, you know.
Yeah. I think AR is quite good in a way, because you're still in reality as well. I think VR, that's a dangerous.
Yeah.
Because you can just stay plugged in.
Yeah.
And that's probably
and it's
more of a draw, because you can fly if you want or something, you know.
And I think it'll also like have massive effects on just, you know, the world in general, like say population. You know, like if people are fucking plugging into VR and like banging their favourite porn stars every night, then they're not out there meeting chicks and making babies.
Yeah,
you know.
Dark side as well.
Yeah, there's a lot of that kind of thing that could happen, and then like generations get skipped.
Yeah.
You know, or you know, just the demise of like just the decrease of fucking population. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, whoa, you've had a kid, weird.
Yeah.
You know, like,
shit, you're 200. What are you doing after a kid at 200?
Yeah.
That's the thing, man. We'll get older and less likely to populate.
Yeah. That kind of stuff will be really weird, won't it? Yeah. Oh, and less motivated in general to just do anything. You just plug into this virtual reality and just be like, right, I'm doing me today. I'm Grand Theft Auto. I'm driving that fucking Lambo, and I'm crashing into that bank or whatever it may be. Like,
you could have a map of, like, say Blackpool. Let's use Blackpool as the AR tower. You're at home playing Grand Theft Auto in a realistic map of Blackpool, and anybody with the glasses on who's logged into Grand Theft Auto will see your car slamming around. It won't actually run them over, but it will slam into them. like they'll see an animation of it going, oh shit!
Yeah.
Like you'll be the civilian in Grand Theft Auto, but no damage. You know, you
That's
flick between
fucking
what
insane.
games you want to see,
Yeah.
or what. But then also you've got to think about ads. Like you need a really good ad blocker
Yeah.
installed, otherwise you can have a migraine all the time.
Yeah, yeah. You're gonna be getting your head packed, aren't you?
Just right into your eye, like this far from your eye. That's one thing that I don't like about it.
Yeah, that's gonna fucking
It's not good for eyesight.
No.
Especially
What, VR?
Well,
Well,
yeah,
or
VR,
AR, yeah.
Just because you've got a screen
There,
right there.
yeah.
Like, with the glasses, it's glass, but it is also.
It'll probably get to a stage where it's like a contact lens where it just goes on your eye and you just sort of like, you become it. Or like you end up with some weird chip in your neck, some shit, do you know what I mean? And it's like it gets wired up to your brain. Or it is going to get to a point where that sort of shit becomes on the market and people will choose to go there or not. But as soon as they've chose to go there, that's dangerous, isn't it?
It is dangerous, man. And I mean, you're looking at stuff that's got, you can increase lifespan by doing that. Potentially, you can definitely increase health of limbs, like if you're replacing them with one that's damaged with a bionic something, you know, that's going to last a lot longer than you are, sort of thing. So if you can look at starting to get into organs, anything like that, you're starting to get weird. And then, you know, at what point are you a robot?
Yeah.
Like, if nothing's left but your brain and your heart and maybe your nervous system,
Yeah.
it's not. And your skin, maybe.
Yeah.
Shit, you'd get some old skin though, wouldn't you? You'd have this fresh metal body.
Yeah.
You're like, fuck, I'm going to have to get my skin done. But it's alright because you're immortal nearly at that point.
Yeah,
so
but you'd probably be able to do some mad shit like, do you know what? Fuck it, I want a Komodo dragon skin. I am Rambutan Komodo dragon Amos, you know what I mean? Like, or whatever it may be.
Or you can just do that in AR.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I was saying before about like the future might not be that far away.
Yeah.
It might be. Because you think, to build those things, it's going to take 50 years. We're going to start now and it's going to be 50 years before they're done.
Yeah. Weird. Interesting. Exciting and
Yeah.
petrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think we're at a good age, actually, you know, being...
It's an interesting one.
Yeah, I think because we've still got, hopefully, a few years in us, do you know what I mean? So we will see quite a lot of...
Changes.
Yeah, we'll see quite a lot of change, but we'll also be able to hold on to...
Cassette tapes.
Yes.
Yeah.
And while we're mentioning that, go and cop fucking sausage spine and use the cape. Flying swine on cassette. Swine pink colour.
Oh, man.
Booyah, there
How
you
many
go.
have you done of that?
I think we did about 50 or something, so we've still got a good 10 or 12 left.
Exclusive.
Yeah, check it out. No price on it. Depends who's buying. Yeah, so I'll work something out with you off the mic. Yeah, but yeah, no. Going back to what you were saying then, like it's
Yeah, cassettes. Not having mobile phones.
well, yeah, we can hold on to those things, whereas. Yeah, you know, like the further technology's advancing, and as the years go on, like people now are not going to remember a life without Facebook or
kids
what.
Are coding.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, you know, it's
as soon as you're born, screen.
bang. Well, there we go, and that's it already happening. That's okay.
Yeah.
They aren't a robot, but they're acting like one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
like, okay, then what's the difference between a screen in front of your face for fucking 6 hours or a chip in your neck? Like, there isn't no difference really. But as soon as that chip is in your neck or whatever it may be, yeah, you know, you're not you anymore. You know?
It's another level of vulnerability.
Yeah, it is.
Like,
Well, and you're not in control,
Yeah.
basically.
with a screen, like your eyes are at risk.
Yeah.
But if something's
And you can
inside
put
you-
it down, can't you?
Yeah.
And be like, actually,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
like
yeah.
this movie, or I don't like this
Yeah.
advert,
Yeah.
or whatever. Yeah, but as soon as something's inside
Yeah.
you, then yeah,
Yeah, because you look at phones nowadays and they have got off switches, but they have also got an on switch.
Yeah.
That doesn't tell you it's turn the phone on. Like in America and in other places, there are things people can do with technology that turn certain things on when you're not aware of it.
yeah,
There's several microphones on
Yeah.
most phones.
Yeah. that kind of thing.
Yeah, and you know, it's not happening all over the place, I don't imagine. Like, I don't think most people are interested in what Frank's doing, hanging his laundry out and talking to his mate about the match.
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a thing fear it is necessarily. I don't think it's that.
At this stage, no, but it's
Yeah.
paranoia. It's they know.
Yeah.
what
but
we're
then
doing.
At a later date, when we're getting into this more advanced technology that's more integrated into us,
Yeah,
like what if, because we can read brain waves reasonably well, a lot better than we could do say 50 years ago, and probably quite a lot better than we could do about 5 years ago. Like it's getting better all the time.
Yeah.
So you've got a chip in your head, or you've got some kind of transcranial electrode thing. Like if somebody can send a signal into that they want to, without you knowing, that's a lot more vulnerability than if they tap your phone.
Yeah.
Like if it's input, and they've just done brain-to-brain communication, haven't they?
Right. No, I didn't know about this. Right.
They did one a few years ago over the internet with 2 people, and I think this month or last month they did 3 people.
Wow.
And they were one person would try and pass information along to the next one, and the next one would have to do something on a screen, like click the answer on a screen that the person sent via their brainwaves. But I don't think it's as direct as a thought at this point.
No.
It's like feel calm or feel anxious, and they say right to this guy feel calm, and this guy goes, I can feel calm, so that means the answer's A. If you can feel anxiety, the answer's B, sort of thing.
Okay.
Like or whatever the thing is, it wasn't like a direct thought like the answer is.
Like yeah, I've got 100 grand in the back garden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like more of a feeling.
Okay, yeah, that makes
so
sense.
Hello.
Yeah.
Anything like that. It's a bit more rudimentary at the minute, but it's just a matter of time.
Yeah, but that makes so much sense because brain waves are what control our feelings anyway. If we're getting a pain in our leg, our brain is telling us that pain's there. So
which is pretty mental.
Yeah, so that makes sense, doesn't it? That you could sort of pass those on, but it's still pretty mind blowing. Excuse the pun.
Yeah.
It is though, isn't it?
Yeah. I was at a science museum in Canada, and there was a game that you could play where you put a headband on each 2-player game. Headband. It just reads electricity that's coming out of your head.
Okay.
It sounds a bit mad, but it is. The electromagnetic field, probably. So it's reading that, and you've got a ball in a tube, right? And at each end of the tube, there's a hole that the ball can fall into, right? And one's your goal, and one's your opponent's goal, right? So the ball will move either to the left or the right, depending on who's feeling calmest and how long you can feel calm for,
right?
And that sort of thing. So you've got to try and zen yourself. So you're doing it, and it's working a bit, and your brain goes, I'm controlling a thing. It's really excited, and it zooms across to the other person's side.
And they're like, yeah.
Oh, so you're like, this is weird, like getting excited, but that makes you not calm. So you send it across the other way, and it's really interesting to kind of watch your brain learning how to do something that's not really related to your body. It's not move a part of the body or think a thing. It's your brain going, I can do magic. Like it's, telekinesis with electrical apparatus.
Yeah.
And we've got the telepathy with these people.
Yeah.
Brain-to-brain communication.
Yeah, that's nuts, isn't it?
It's pretty mental, man.
Yeah.
Getting superpowers.
Yeah. What would your superpower be if you could have one?
Superpower be? It's not a popular one, but no, actually, no, it's tricky. I would say immortality, but the problem with immortality is it's much better if everybody has it, 'cause otherwise you just see everybody die.
Yeah, that's going to be pretty grim, isn't it?
Yeah, it's gonna get old quick.
Yeah.
Like, right, yeah. So if it wouldn't be a superpower, it'd be something else. A superpower.
I reckon you'd be some sort of plant man, like defo man. Like, yeah, I'm just gonna grow some fucking something out my beard here. Like, boom, here we go.
Yeah, man, already doing that. Mushrooms in here on the daily, mate. Fresh chanterelles come out of this bad, mate. Yeah.
Hell yeah, mate. Save me some.
What's that? You need some yeast for your bread? It's alright, mate. That's gross.
It's jokes.
But no, man.
Yeah, well, superpowers and talking about brains, like reading people's minds, reading people's thoughts, like that's linking the two subjects into one there.
Speed reading would be pretty good, but you can already do that.
Okay, speed reading. Yeah, that is pretty mad. I definitely couldn't speed read.
You can. There's a thing called spreading, right? If you type in spreader into Google, it comes up with this little thing, and you copy whatever text you want into it, so you have to find the text you want to copy. The initial text that's in there is like instructions on what's going on.
Right.
So you copy whatever you want in. Well, the instructions thing comes up, and it keeps the word, it keeps the middle letter of the word in the same place all the time, and it's just one word at a time. You can set it to 2 or 3 words at a time actually if you want, and you can adjust the speed. And because it keeps it at that point in your vision, if you just keep your eyes on it, it can go past, like, it's been a while since I've had a look, but I'm sure I was doing like 20 words a second, something like that, 20, 30 words a second, flicking past, like, frame rate. And your brain takes it in because you're not moving your eyes around, you're not scanning it, because it's all just being fed directly in, and it's in it, like, there's something to do with the central point.
Okay.
It is understandable, and you can start at like...
That's fucking crazy.
Mad, man. You start at like 5-10 words a second and just get used to it, and you can just keep pushing it until you reach whatever the point is. Like, there's people doing a lot of words a second. Like, you can Johnny 5 a book, like, no bother.
Oh,
I keep wanting to put like Lord of the Rings or something in it, or, you know, like some big fiction, and just have some mushrooms.
Yeah, I've just done fucking...
You'd go into that universe. Man,
yeah, that would be insane, that.
Yeah, man.
Oh, I need to
Put
check
the
that out.
Gita in there.
Yeah.
Shit.
Wow. Yeah, that'd be quality, wouldn't it?
Mate, yeah, and something calming. I might try that one day.
Yeah.
Bit of spree then.
Yeah. I'm definitely gonna check that out.
Man, you should. It's really interesting. I've yet to do anything.
I'm a particularly slow reader.
Yeah.
Definitely, like reading a few paragraphs and then maybe going back to them just to make sure I understood that. Yeah. I do that quite a lot, actually, yeah, which definitely slows me down. Yeah. But I'm definitely not a spreeder, man. I'm more of a fucking,
yeah, it
very
might just
slow
agitate
reader.
you, to be fair.
Yeah, I'm interested though, because I like the idea of like shortened text. There's a word for that escapes me right now, but like shorthand, people will like, you know, they'll write like just like certain letters that'll mean certain
they
words.
Know what it means, their particular shorthand.
Yeah. I like the idea of that, and in fact, I actually do that quite a lot. Yeah, at work particularly when I'm like taking notes from people that are asking for certain things, and I'm like, right, okay, so to keep, because when someone's, you know, emptying their thoughts or you know, asking for something that they want, and they know that what they want, then they're going to give you like all the information all at once, aren't they? Like, you know, it's just going to spill out their head. Like, you know, within 30 seconds they're like, right, you know, I really want to do this, and I want to do that, and I've done this before and I didn't like that, so I don't want to do that again, but so yeah, anyway, you know, and it's all of a sudden you're just like, whoa, fucking start again. But if you can pick up some sort of shorthand, it's very
afterwards you can go,
yeah, you can scan over it, and you know what, like 25% of it that you've written down you may have forgotten, because that was just your train of thought at the time as well, but you'll definitely retain more than you forget. And that's quite interesting. So in the same vein, I think this spreading could be, it's the same principle, just it's the opposite. It's the input rather than the output, isn't it? Because your brain is controlling what your shorthand is, whereas if you can learn to train the brain the opposite way around, that's actually really interesting.
It's really interesting for like technical stuff that you want to learn, or if you want to learn like about what do you call it, fucking history and stuff. Like, academic sort of things, quite interesting. There's not been a lot of long-term look at like retention of memory of it, but the initial stuff seems promising. So says the company. People are becoming geniuses.
Immediately. That's cool, man.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
I should learn some shit in it. I wonder if you could do it like with 2 words and learn another language.
Oh, that would be fucking phenomenal, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Probably break a brain though.
Yeah.
Break a brain or 2 in the process.
Yeah. I was thinking about that when I've just got back from Lisbon, as you know, and like everyone out there spoke such good English, and but they do everywhere, man. Do you know what I mean? And like, I don't know, it's just fucking.
You've got the luxury.
It's crazy, isn't it? It's so fucking ignorant, like. But I've got so much fucking time. I was thinking like the other day how we all can do it. Obviously, we can. You know, like I'm not saying that. You know, those guys abroad aren't really clever for being able to pick up that our language, because they are, and every credit to them. You know, but. Like, surely we can do that as well, man. Do you know what I mean? It's just we just don't, do we? You know, because it's not a necessity.
It's impossible when you've only got one. Not impossible, but it seems like a really daunting thing when you've only got one. Like, how could you do that? Like, how could you speak another language? That's a ridiculous idea.
Yeah.
But I suppose the flip side of the coin is that a lot of people are forced to learn English because
Yeah.
that's the prevalent. That's
Yeah.
how you make some money.
Yeah.
If you know how to say Asda price, like they used to say that on the markets in India all the time.
Yeah, of
they'd slap
course.
the bums Asda price.
Yep.
Loads
Yeah.
of colloquial English got over there, didn't it? Like,
Yeah, of
amongst
course
all
it
the
did.
traders and
Oh,
shit.
yeah.
Hey up, love.
Yeah, hey, up,
What the
love, yeah.
fuck?
Chippy tea. Yeah, all that sort of stuff. No, I know what you mean, man.
Yeah.
It is very necessary for them to
Yeah.
pick it up, whereas
The
for us
bonus
it
of the
isn't.
chippy tea thing is they bring you like a nice bit of fish.
Yeah.
It's not like covered in batter and shit. And
Yeah, some Bombay potatoes.
yeah,
Yeah.
mate, some freshly just caught fish from Kerala.
Yeah. Oh man, the Carolyn curries, that's the fucking
Oh,
shit.
man. I went to a South Indian place in Brighton. Oh man, I'd forgotten that it's such a different taste.
Oh,
to
what's
what
the name
Indian
of that?
food
'Cause I'm in
is.
Brighton on Tuesday.
Mate, it closed down. Then I
Oh,
moved. It
really?
closed next time I went.
That's
yeah.
fucking bullshit. There was a Momo restaurant. You know Momos?
No.
They're Nepalese dumplings.
No.
They're really nice, man. There was a Momo shop in Brighton, and
Was there?
that shut down, man. That was heartbreaking. Like, that was such a fucking nice spot. That.
Such
Tell
a
me,
nice city.
yeah, Brighton's lovely, man. Yeah, I've been there quite. It's probably one of the only other places in the UK I could happily live.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right. And Bristol as well, actually.
Yeah, Bristol's lovely, isn't it? Yeah, I really like Bristol, man. Yeah.
Or I could settle in Wales if Wales ever declares independence.
Yeah, I'm obviously Chester now,
Well,
so
yeah,
I'm not far
yeah.
from the border there,
Yeah.
and I
Yeah,
love
the border runs through Cheshire, doesn't
pretty.
it?
Yeah, it runs through Cheshire, and it's pretty much boom. Like I'm like where I live, mate. I'm very close to Wales. I'm probably
Such a
closer
lovely
to
place.
Wales than I am Chester city centre. Like
shit.
literally that close. But what were we saying just then? I forgot what we were saying. Bastard! I was going to say something then, and I forgot.
Brighton.
Oh yes, tell me about the South Indian lunch,
yeah,
man.
man,
I need to know what you had. I just wanna, I wanna eat it through what you were gonna tell me now, man.
Right, man. So we got in, and there was a bunch of options, and there's 4 of us, and we decided, we're just gonna try a few different things.
Yeah.
Like, what can we do about that sort of thing? And waiters arranged something. So it was really personal. The service was really good. They were a
Nice.
proper South Indian family, like
Mm.
traditional recipes, and like all the Indian food you get in England is Northern Indian. Like you get a korma,
Yeah.
but it's not. That's
Yeah,
not
it's
a korma.
predominantly northern.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's not like the same flavours as you get in a korma in the south of India, I don't think, or whatever the equivalent is. I'm not sure. Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just completely different flavours that I'd entirely forgotten about because I was in Kerala when I was like 7 or 8,
Yeah.
and then I'd been eating Indian food in England ever since we got back.
Yeah.
And I didn't have any of those flavours from the south like that. It's almost, it's not like Thai, but it's got a bit more coconut.
Yeah, it's a bit more creamier, isn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, and it's
and
a lot more fish based, obviously, with them
Yeah,
being by the
yeah,
coast,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
Kerala itself, the state. Where did you live in Kerala?
We only visited Kerala.
Oh, right.
We did. We went to Delhi.
Yeah.
First time we went 6 months. Went to Delhi. Travelled down right to Kerala. Stayed in Goa for quite a bit, and then went down further down, right down to the bottom, pretty much.
Nice.
And then went away and came back and lived in Goa.
So when you get further to the south, you go through Kerala, but you're actually in Tamil Nadu. That's the very southernmost
is it?
point, isn't it?
I think Kerala was the furthest
Was
south
it?
we got.
Right, yeah. Yeah, Kerala was lovely, man. Like, there's a very nice South Indian restaurant in Chester.
Is there?
Yeah, called Coconut Grove,
Nice.
and it's the nicest Indian food
Yeah.
I've had outside of India, 100%. And they've just got the South Indian cuisine on lock,
Yeah.
100%. Yeah, because unless you've been, it's hard to describe
Yeah, how
the
different-
differences.
yeah.
Like Indian food is Indian food. Yeah, to
Yeah.
you maybe, but to people that have travelled
Yeah.
throughout the different states and the different areas, it differs so much, doesn't it?
People who've unexpectedly stumbled on it in somewhere in England. Well, no, this is going to be Indian food. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Europe and the size of Europe, then you
Yeah.
look at India being a subcontinent, yeah, like, and so you go from France to fucking Spain, and it's completely different. Obviously, it's going to differ in the States and
Yeah,
India,
that's
you
a good
know,
point.
massively.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'd say South Indian was probably my favourite for your main meal. So for your, if it's a curry and a rice, then I think the South.
Yeah, it's a bit lighter.
Yeah, the Kerala style was my
Yeah,
favourite
yeah.
for that format of meal. Whereas I think the North Indian snack food was better.
Nice.
Like your samosas or
Yeah.
they do like vada pav. I don't know if you know that. That's like a donut, which is like a savoury donut, a vada. Yeah, and various other different like snack food.
Yeah.
I think that was like better in the north, probably because it's busier. So there's more demand for that fast food type of
there's more
style.
people making it,
Yeah.
more development to be
Yeah,
made.
it's like bang, bang, bang. You're on a train for 2 hours. Like here's a donut full of fucking lentils, and yeah, boom. Whereas in Kerala, it was a much more peaceful place. I found it. Yeah, there's the
slow moving.
pace of life was very chilled there.
Yeah.
Hence, they've got time to cook a nice curry or whatever.
Some
Yeah.
people say that about the far north as well, like Manali and
Yeah, I imagine it being that way. I didn't really get as far as Manali.
No.
Like the furthest north I was like Rajasthan area, and then into what's the name of that state? I forget now. Uttar Pradesh, I think.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's
Is
where.
it up in the north?
So actually, the furthest north I got in India, actually, I tell a lie, was Darjeeling.
Oh, right.
Yeah, and then I crossed the border into Nepal from
Did you?
Darjeeling. Yeah,
Wow.
that was amazing.
That's a moment.
Yeah, that was beautiful. But like, to be honest, Darjeeling didn't feel like India.
No?
Really, no. It felt more like it was completely different. You know, like because you're in the Himalayas. It's northern. It's people are wearing coats. It's colder. Even the people look different. They've got that more Nepalese look about them.
Yeah.
You know, so even though it is India, by the time I was in Darjeeling, I was ready for Nepal, and I felt like I wasn't in India anymore.
It was
Like,
starting to feel more like Tibet. Or...
yeah. I remember being in because towards the end of that trip, I did a meditation course in Varanasi,
Oh no.
which was amazing. And then after that, went somewhere else briefly. Oh no, sorry. Okay, so we went to Varanasi and spent some time there just exploring the city, which is literally top 5 for the most amazing places I've ever been. Top 3. Mind blowing, like taking a step back in time.
Yeah.
Hard to put into words, just
Is
unbelievable.
there a lot of colonial architecture there, or is it mostly temple?
Yes, there's a real mixture, man, but it's just even the layout of the city. There's so many guinnels. It's such a maze. It's like really just it's ancient. It's so ancient, and you can tell.
And it's still lived in.
It's still
the
just
same
complete
place.
operating as normal. It's charming. It really is. But yeah, so spending time there doing the touristy thing, if you will, as touristy as it can get, watching bodies burning by the Ganges and shit,
Yeah, tourist in India is a bit different.
Yeah,
to tourist in America.
Of course, yeah. So, but then after that, doing a meditation course for 10 days, and then when that finished, going back to Varanasi, knowing that Darjeeling was the next stop, in my heart, I knew that was the last time I was going to be in proper India, if that makes sense, because I knew Darjeeling was going to be completely different, and not taking anything away from Darjeeling not being India, of course it is, but you know what I'm getting at, don't you? When I was in that last day in Varanasi before moving on to a further north point, I knew, like, right, this is it now, like, I'm sort of saying bye now.
Yeah,
you know,
you're not like crossing the border, but you are going into a different place that's not like
exactly,
the rest of India.
and
The temperature's a big difference.
of course it is,
culture.
and the natural surroundings, the layout, the landscapes, everything, so but that goes for Kerala as well, like, all the states differ massively,
and, all the way down,
of course.
There's such a difference between Bombay and Delhi,
Yeah,
or at least there was.
Yeah.
20 years ago.
Yeah.
Man, everywhere's got its own little character.
It
But
has.
everywhere's also got similarities in the fact that there's just no health and safety.
It's unmistakably Indian, isn't it? When you're there, it's like, okay, this is Indian rules. We're just going with this.
It is
like,
quite a psychedelic experience because it is a different set of things, completely different environment
Yeah.
that you've not experienced
Yeah.
before.
it's
I don't think you can experience somewhere else.
no. My heart there's a massive part of my heart still there. And all these years later, it was 2010 I was there, and I still think about it a lot.
It's immortalised in that amazing album, Indian Ink.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and even listening to that, brings back so many memories. But just random things, like a smell or just getting a little glimpse in your mind. All of a sudden, you get like a flashback of being somewhere, or just some sort of experience, and you may not be able to put your finger on what that is, but it was from India. or like that might sound a little bit weird, but I know exactly.
Yeah, it takes you back to that place.
Yeah, like, and that happens a lot. Yeah.
I think like having an album and that sort of stuff on, like I found it really interesting. I think other people have been to India will as well, because you might not necessarily know which lyric on that people are going to relate to, but when they do relate to it, they're going to relate to this completely different culture that they experience at that point in their life, you know?
Yeah.
And get them on, not your experience of it, but then, oh yeah, I remember when something like that happened.
Of course, and that's one of the challenging things about writing music for others to enjoy, isn't it? Because like you can get self-indulgent and write songs that are like only you would ever understand, which I do a lot anyway, and I get great enjoyment from that. But being able to write something where someone may be able to relate to it at some point is, you know, you're putting your heart on your sleeve, so to speak, aren't you?
And I mean, there's people out there who the things that you might think are just for you, it might just be there's a smaller number of people who that's for, but if they find it, holy shit, someone's talking about my shit. Yeah,
like, whoa, that's crazy as fuck. Yeah. And India definitely had that effect on me so much. Like you were saying, it's a psychedelic experience in itself, 100%.
All travel is, you know.
It is, but that place in particular, because of how it's just an attack on the senses. Everything is alive. Your eyes are everywhere, 100 miles an hour.
You can't take it all.
Your sense of smell, the noise is just, it's such a noisy place. And you know, everything is just alive to its maximum capacity,
people
isn't it?
Drinking out of tiny plant pots.
Yeah, the little clay pots. Yeah,
wearing
you get
like a turban around the waist.
Yeah, man, like having a shot of like the most sugary super tea in the morning and then throwing the clay pot on the floor because it's reusable.
It's proper disposable.
A boom. Like wow, the shit is fucking insane.
That is a really India really reuses its things.
Yeah, man.
Has done
for years.
It's been around.
Exactly, man. They're well on the ball with that
It's a
shit.
really different culture. Like, it's an ancient religion. It's an ancient culture.
Yeah.
Like,
and it gets a lot of bad rap, you know, it gets a lot of bad stick for being like dirty and filthy and shit.
Yeah.
But fuck me, like before you start like having a go at the place, like it's heavily populated, like fuck, there's like billions of people living there.
Pretty loosely.
Yeah, like chill the fuck out, like okay, there's a bit of fucking litter here, there and everywhere, like it's fucking heavily populated place.
They're trying to sort that out.
Yeah.
But they're living real loose.
Yeah.
And there's something really nice about that, and that is the price you pay. But you know, if we can move away from plastics and stuff and go to hemp-based plastics, which biodegrade in like 80 days or something.
Yeah.
They start biodegrading in like 80 days, whereas plastics around for thousands of years.
Yeah.
You know. The more we can start, like the clay.
Yeah,
that
is genius.
That sorts that out.
Yeah.
That's all right. You've got, because somebody's going to get that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not ideal that somebody's got to go scrubbing around for it, really.
No.
If they don't want to do it, and you know, is that a thing that is a caste-based job?
Good question. Probably. It's gonna be, isn't it?
Probably like for a Dalit. Is a Dalit?
Yeah.
Is that the word that's? I'm sure I've seen that as a charity's name, so I think that's
right. Yeah, I'm not 100% there. You know, I know obviously about the caste systems and what you're saying. Yeah, but
gross. And
I'm
you
not.
know, the younger generation aren't as into it.
No.
That's changing. Hopefully, it'll be quick.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Going back to what you're saying about like reusing shits and getting rid of your plastics and that kind of thing, like you know, that's so important, and I reckon that we can learn a bit, we can take a bit of every culture and try and adapt, you know, but it's until people start really taking notice of that, it's not going to work, is it? You know, it can't be imposed, that's the thing.
No. You've got to look at cost. I mean, there's ways to make it easier, because like hemp, you need a license for.
Yeah. You
need to get checked regularly that there's not above a certain level of THC in your crop, which you can't guarantee because you've got a crop of 1,000 hemp plants. It's like having a field full of corn.
Yeah.
Someone going, if one of those corns is too sweet, mate, you're going to be fucked, and you're going to have to shut this field down, burn the crop, and
everything that you've worked hard on.
Like, might not even let you start again.
Yeah.
You know, maybe your license will be revoked.
Yeah.
So like, if you can make that easier, then you can make hemp products less expensive, less difficult to produce. You know, and like bottles, people are making hemp butter. I tried hemp butter at the Project Earth Expo.
Right.
That
Okay.
was sick, man. That was in I think Peterborough, just outside Cambridge. And that was sick. They had people there making like hemp butter. That was like peanut butter.
Right.
Hemp seeds and oil, and it wasn't the tastiest thing on the planet. But it's
But it
really
worked.
fucking good for you.
Yeah.
Well, no, it doesn't get you high or anything.
No, but
It's just the health
it
benefits.
was nice. Yeah.
There's CBD in there.
Okay.
There's a bunch of terpenes and flavonoids and stuff in there. Not as high as you get
Yeah.
in marijuana, but there's a lot of beneficial compounds in there that people are making to various, giving you a lot of different ways to get it into your body.
Yeah.
But all of the producers anyway, because these folks making the butter were farmers, they farmed hemp. Like, it's just really difficult. There's a lot of shit they have to put up with and go through, and a lot of red tape.
Oh, I bet.
Almost a load of shit you've got to put up with that puts folk off.
Well, yeah, and that's almost going back to the powers that be. It's like they're putting that red tape up to keep their harvest fucking fruitful.
Their cotton.
Yeah. You know, they want to keep their pockets lined, so they're going to make it more difficult for the people that are actually doing something beneficial.
Yeah.
You know, it would be much easier to just wipe the slate clean and start again, but that'll never work. It can't work that way, can it?
It's got to be sort of generational.
Yeah,
changes.
but it would be as easy as, right, okay, bang, there's this law here. Like, if we see you not recycling, then you lose a finger. You know what I mean, though, innit? Like, that kind of extreme imposing of something like that, you know, like, would make a lot of sense, because it'd be instant, wouldn't it? People would be making those changes, and then rather than it being generational, it would be instant. Yeah, it'd be like, right, shit, we've got to do this.
I suppose it's just a bit of a risky edge, isn't it?
Yeah,
It depends who's saying that with what agenda and like.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
And even done with the best intentions, maybe it can go the wrong way.
Yeah.
It is risky, and maybe that is why we do change a bit slower.
Yeah.
But with some things we change fast, like Canada's second country to legalise now. That's not been long. Like, weed was only made illegal in, was it the 40s?
Gonna be, isn't it? When Prohibition was.
Yeah, it was. And Ford was making cars out of hemp. And I mean, the main reason they made it illegal was to be able to arrest black people and Mexicans.
Yeah.
Committed by people who were there at the time.
Yeah.
That was the reason for the policy. And hippies.
Yeah.
Like, we don't like in the 60s. Like,
Get rid of these. Yeah, get rid of these hippies.
It's always about a bit of control, man.
Of course it is.
But yeah, like, you can't stop people doing shit like that if they want to do it.
No, of course not.
You can make it difficult.
Mm.
And
do you know what? Like, I used to love blazing, man.
Yeah.
You know, I got into it at a very young age.
Yeah.
I was about 13, 14 when I first got into it. And I fucking loved it. I really did, for many years.
Yeah.
But
it's a bit difficult at that age because, your brain's still forming.
Yeah, of course, yeah. It's like,
you're like, it's fucking great.
I mean, looking back now, it's had a massive effect on me. Do you know? Like, there's no doubt about that. But I'm glad I did it. No regrets, man. Like, socially, it's been an amazing tool for me. You know,
to get in certain social groups as well, groups of interesting people.
Yeah, and not just that, but in my opinion, like, it's made me a more sociable person.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, and I'm really happy that I've gained those benefits from doing that all those years ago. But I stopped doing it many years ago. I quit over 10 years ago.
Right, really?
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I've had the odd fucking doobie every now and then, like, but nothing regularly, no. But in this day and age now, someone who's not been smoking it for many years, but was very fond of it, I see how it's advancing now. And it makes me want to start smoking it again.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? But I quit for a reason, and I wanted to stop, and I'm glad I did. But I see where it's going now, and I don't know, there's that inner pothead inside me just going, this is mint, innit? This is fucking quality that it's getting to this stage now, like, raw.
Yeah, and see, if we had legalization, then there could be a way for you to be involved in it that isn't smoking.
Yeah.
You could be making edibles or having some kind of coffee shop, running a small company, small business.
Yeah.
You could be doing something in that field that would be of interest to you.
Yeah.
You can't because it's legal.
Yeah.
There's so many people out there going, I'd just love to be able to, do something like this legally.
Yeah.
Like, people organising raves and stuff, just like, I wish I could do this.
Yeah.
Just at a festival, because then there'd be loads more people on mushrooms.
Yeah.
And I don't know what's better than more people on mushrooms.
No, yeah. Surely not much, mate.
Like, the bigger a crowd you can have of people who are all on mushrooms,
Yeah.
the more fun it's going to be. Like, if you can get 10 people, have them at the same time, have just like those people who are on mushrooms. Because I find sometimes people who aren't on mushrooms are kind of weird when you're on mushrooms.
Yeah, and you're in a group, yeah.
Yeah, if you're in a group, yeah, like there's a, it's not disconnect, because it's kind of arrogant, doesn't it? Like, we're on mushrooms, we're above you, but there is like a difference in
Well, there's just a barrier of communication, isn't there? Yeah.
There's like a,
it's not as relatable.
Yeah.
It's like they're looking at you like, wow, like do something weird, or you should be doing something weird, and we're looking at them like, you're weird for not doing this. Yeah,
you're having this big weird melodrama, and they're just going, "Oh, I'm going after
dinner." yeah. Oh yeah, I'll have mushroom soup.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it is strange, isn't it? But I'm quite I've over the years been very selective with who I take drugs with, and also who I want to share that experience with.
And I find the taking of them generally as well. Like in my youth, it was just what is there. What's someone got?
Yeah, what can I get off my head on?
Yeah, how can I do? Yeah, how can I get weird? And like, whereas nowadays I'm like, right, I probably need to have some mushrooms at some point in 6 months or less.
Yeah,
like, that'd be good. That'd be good. A little holiday for my brain.
Yeah.
Get a bit of a reset. Get out of any funks that I'm in.
Yeah.
You know, potentially, it's not a cure all or anything, but
no, it's true, man.
It helps with a lot of shit.
Oh, it does. It definitely is peeling those layers off, isn't it? You know, and just refreshing.
Yeah. I'd like sometimes, like the first time I had them, the morning after, I felt amazing.
Yeah.
And I'd never had the experience of using a substance and then waking up feeling good. And instead of just waking up, I thought, oh, not only do I not feel shit, I feel the best I have in years.
Yeah,
like full of this brightness or something.
Yeah, this positive energy. It's a real afterglow, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's definitely one of the things that's drawn me back to shrooms over the years. Is that the positive effects it has afterwards? And
there's not much of a destructive element.
No, there isn't. No, and I think
it might destroy your ego.
That's a great thing. Yeah, sharing those stories as well, I think, is a really nice thing to do afterwards. I really love being able to share with people, like, oh, you know, this happened, or I felt a certain way. Yeah. You know, and it's
and sometimes you're verbalising the concept that someone else has struggled to put, and they're like, oh yeah.
Oh, that's the most beautiful thing ever.
Man. With salvia, like, if you say to someone, if somebody, like, I've read a few trip reports, listened to bits on YouTube with people who've talked about salvia and stuff, and they're like, oh yeah, the slicing, and I was like, yes, I know what the slicing is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, oh yeah, I know what you mean, the fucking lines and and I always get this thing where everything looks, instead of being depth, so instead of this being here and you being there, everything's flat.
Okay.
And around the edges of all the things, there's it's not like physical stitching, it's some kind of trans-dimensional stitching or something, but it's around the edges of everything where there should be distance. Instead it's flat and there's a defining edge between the two.
Right.
And then I also sometimes feel like a stitch that runs all the way along my body. I didn't think of it as a stitch before, but like a line, like a tingly line, like an atom thick, I don't know, or millimetre thick or something, like a fine line that is like, you know, on a toy when it's two parts that are put together and there's a line all the way around the outside. Yeah. Like that.
Okay.
And my sister was like, oh, does that not mean you're just part of the two-dimensional fabric and you've got that same stitch line around you? It's like, oh. But yeah, like you mentioned that to people on salvia, there's certain tropes in mushrooms.
Yeah, definitely.
DMT I've not partaken in. No, I tried, but it didn't break through.
Right.
A few times now.
Yeah.
Had to go and just, for whatever reason, had some interesting body feelings.
Nice. You get the kaleidoscopic tunnel.
Yeah, a little bit of that. The most I ever, a little bit of geometric patterns, but only quite mild closed eye visuals. And I once saw, and Will saw the same thing, I think, if I remember right. A triangle a long way in the distance, very small triangle, was down a very, very long tunnel. Yeah. And at the end there was a load of colourful fun shit going on, but I knew I wasn't going to get there. I knew I was just going to be here looking at it in the distance. Like I hadn't. Yeah. For whatever reason, I wasn't going there today.
That's really crazy, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, and how much of that is your brain knowing things? Cause I'd read about it, and I hadn't read about the waiting room though, and that does describe the waiting room.
Yeah. Yeah, that is weird, isn't it? My experience with it was hitting it and getting the geometric shapes immediately, and being very clearly in like a tunnel shaped like passage, you know, and everything was moving, like all these patterns were moving so beautifully, you know. But that first hit, there was no sort of breakthrough moments. It was just that very, very strong at first, but it obviously started fading off. And then the pipe was getting passed round between like 4 of us. And then that's the second time the pipe got passed to me. I packed it hard, you know. And I hit it fucking hard. I was like, right, now, because that first time, you're always that little bit apprehensive, aren't you, you know? And that first hit, you know, I had a good toot, but I was like, you know, well, what's this about then, you know? But that second one, I just fucking went boom. And as soon as I fucking inhaled, I knew I was gone. Big time. And the guy who was next to me in the line of order had to take the pipe off me and the lighter and push me back. I was like frozen. I was like, you know, literally just like a statue. And then he pushed me back, and he said he said something, you know, like close your eyes. You know, it was just really.
He knew what.
He knew where I was going, and that was fucking insane, man. Which I know I've told you about that before, but yeah, like to you know, touch upon it again. It was just like. It wasn't just the visual element, it was the feeling of being in a very big open space, a dome type building, very reminiscent of like a temple or something. And those geometric patterns were still all going off, but yeah, it was definitely like the walls and all that sort of shit. And then there was like a feeling of someone else being in there, so I wasn't alone, but very peaceful and relaxing feelings. And then it got to a point where because you are very conscious of what's going on, and like, you know, one of the guys who was hitting the pipe as well while we were there, he was like fucking sideways, like laughing about something, and I remember hearing him laughing, you know, and I was totally aware of where we were and who was there and everything, but yeah, like going back to this sort of dome temple shaped thing, I was like trying to challenge myself and sort of test myself, and I was thinking, like, you know, what's going on, and where's the this is all beautiful, but where's the bad shit, where's the negativity here? And literally all of a sudden this sort of like spiraling shape started appearing in my peripheral, and it just sort of formed to become this like absolutely huge serpent with like its fucking head literally in my face, literally in my face, just sort of hissing, like, looking straight at me. And it was fucking insane, and that was all going on inside this domed building that I was in, with the feeling of being in a very big open space. And instantly, you know, I'd sort of was aware that, wow, like, this is quite intense shit, and I'm pushing the limits here. And then that sort of serpent type figure, just the scales on it slowly started like dissolving and kind of just forming back into the patterns of the temple and shit like that. But shit. Nuts, yeah. But that was, like I was saying, it was all very, not control, I want to say like controlled, as though I was in control, but I'd never felt totally fucking freaked out by it, you know. Like, I was okay with it. Yeah. And then after, and like, I'm scared of snakes. I'm not, but I'm definitely scared of snakes. And I think that was when I started thinking in my head, where's the bad vibes? That's why that came, you know. That's why it came in my mind. But afterwards, one of the guys who was well into it all was like, yeah, you know, that's like a sign. The symbolism of it says that represents your ego. You know, so like you're in your mind saying, oh, where's the bad vibes here? I'm in this beautiful like bliss-like state in this temple of like patterned walls moving, and I feel great.
Like, where's the bad corner?
I'm like, in my head I'm like, where's the bad corner? I want to explore that as well. And then all of a sudden this serpent's there, which was so fucking vividly visual, you know.
But you didn't feel fear?
Not really. I think I jumped a little
Yeah.
bit because it literally was. It was just a shape at first spiraling, and then it just like struck like a
Right.
snake striking.
Yeah.
And it, you know.
That's the fear, isn't it?
Yeah.
That's the fear with the snake.
Not
the shape of it.
No. And I did sort of jump a bit, if you will. Like I was shocked, but I wasn't like heart attack material, or I'm gonna open my eyes, or I'm gonna fucking scream or anything. It was just like, okay, this is here. I've just asked for it. I've just asked for this, and I've got it.
Yeah.
You know? But then afterwards, the guy was like, yeah, you know, that definitely could represent your ego, which then, you know, begs to ask so many other questions, doesn't it? And in exploring these kind of substances, you know, that it's making these pointers, isn't it? You know, like, okay, you've asked what bad things are going on up here in your head, Amos. Well, check this out, mate.
I'm a good medicine, you know. I'm gonna show you.
Yeah, like, here you go. Like, revisit that ego of yours and try and fucking, you know, dilute it a bit, bro, and fucking eradicate it or whatever. Like.
I mean, the potential for really bad experiences high with people who've got like trauma, but the potential for being able to revisit that scene from a more detached place is huge. Like, if you've got trauma from some event in the past that's causing you a lot of difficulty in life, you might be on various meds, you know, whatever the outcome of this is. Psychedelics with a good guide, with someone who's trained in the use, like a shaman, you know, they've been doing this for fucking thousands of years. I don't know what I'm talking about, like it's a new idea. But like in Western society, it's on the underground, it's on the rise, and in the mainstream, it's on the rise. But yeah, somebody there who can, like you say, oh, that represents your ego, or someone who can give you advice and guidance on what you're experiencing, or even just try and keep you calm so that you don't freak out, which is probably really important with someone who's suffering from trauma and looking to, because like if you're going in saying, right, what is the dark spot, and it's some fucking dark shit, like not something that you have a fear of that's related to your ego, like some trauma that's propping up your ego that you have to look at. I mean, that's years of therapy, or less therapy with MDMA.
Yeah.
And, you know, a different kind of therapy that's maybe quite long-lasting with psychedelics.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because it definitely leaves an effect on you afterwards.
And it goes back to what we were saying about, like, peeling those layers of skin off and having that refreshing outlook every now and then, because it's not just about the buzz and the tripping and that, it's about the afterglow as well.
Yeah.
And I think that resonates with what you're saying about how, okay, you've been through some traumatic shit, but like, you know, go on this journey here, take this trip here, maybe explore a bit of that, but and appreciate the beauty you've got as well, like in the life, and listen to the fucking bugs fucking move in the grass, and you know what I mean, like just appreciate what is,
and get a new perspective on a lot of things.
Absolutely. And then afterwards reflect, and that's when the real healing starts, isn't it? Because you can reflect on that trauma and be like, well, actually, I thought about that trauma and I got this really bad feeling, but then I heard the bugs fucking moving in the grass.
Yeah, and I realised life is beautiful.
Yeah, so actually maybe that's made me feel less trauma about that situation now, and maybe I've just that's a one step on the road to curing that ill.
Yeah, and you look at places in the Amazon where they use ayahuasca and they do it as it's a religious thing almost.
Yeah.
They use it in a lot of religious ceremony. They do churches. They call it the teacher or something along those lines. And if you want to study that, you're given the option from like 16.
It's taken seriously, isn't it? Which is, and it's fucking to be taken seriously. Yeah, because this is some heavy shit.
You can have fun with it as well. Don't get me wrong. I'm not going to say nobody should do that, kind of plenty of that. But there's something more to it as well.
Definitely. It seems like ayahuasca is more of a gauntlet, doesn't it? Of like, right.
Not recreational.
No, we're going on a journey here.
People do intense courses though, like several doses, like over consecutive days and stuff.
Yeah. I'd like to experience it.
Yeah. Definitely. I'd like to experience it properly in the jungle with a shaman, but I am also open to the idea of, in the proper setting with the correct people, doing it without the jungle and the shaman, possibly with some people. Well, definitely with some people who are experienced.
Yeah.
and you've perhaps got knowledge of the shamanic stuff. Like, the more of that can be brought to the table, the better.
Yeah. I think I'd have to go with that,
Yeah,
that shamanic.
fully.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'd be doing it purely for like a selfish reason, I think. You know,
Yeah.
like as much as I've enjoyed it, my experiences with psychedelics over the years, it seems as though that is just that's the motherfucking one where you're like, shit, I am fucking gone. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it'd be
God's own medicine.
yeah, and I feel as though that's not something I'd be that bothered about sharing with like friends on a level. Do you know what I mean? That's more of a like.
You want to be where a bunch of people have gone to do that.
Yeah, yeah. Knowing that I can trust in this shaman.
Yeah.
That's done it previous times before.
Yeah, you've looked up, because there are a couple of dodgy ones about.
Oh, I bet there is. Yeah.
Some tourist traps.
Yeah.
Now, because it's become a much more popular thing.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically spring break for a lot of people, I imagine. Go to Alaska. In America, you know, go across the border, do Alaska. I don't know how prevalent it is in Central America.
Yeah, I bet it's more prevalent than we know of.
Yeah.
I bet it is, but yeah, obviously.
And there's mushrooms in Central America.
Of course, yeah.
Cacti.
Yeah, the peyote and all that sort of shit.
Yeah, that's like desert and Central
America. Yeah. But the actual the ayahuasca, the retreats and camps, like, it'd just be fucking unreal, wouldn't it?
Yeah. I tell you what's quite fun on mushrooms is on YouTube. There's quite a lot of chants using ayahuasca ritual.
Is there?
There's one in particular that I was listening to accidentally for ages when we were on mushrooms, and it was just like some lady. It sounded like she was sweeping. It was like, she was like, hey, like, and like any time that I was wigging out a bit, I just went, just joined in with it a little bit and got into her vibe for a second.
Right.
Straight back down to, oh no, this is fun.
That's crazy, yeah.
Yeah, man, she was really grounding. And that's the thing with the experience of shamans. Like, I've watched quite a lot of Hamilton's Pharmacopia. Have you caught any of that?
No.
He goes around taking entheogenic and like stuff like. I don't think he takes PCP, but he talks to people about all these different drugs. Some entheogenic, some modern. And he goes and does the proper salvia ritual. He does a few other proper he goes and does the proper experience. And these people, like this lady has him on salvia, and she's like getting him to lie down and like stroking his chest and making nice noises. He doesn't know what she's saying. Like, she's just making noises. She's got like smudge sticks and stuff. And this is something that her grandmother developed before. And then going back, you know, into the mists of time, like potentially thousands of years.
Wow.
You know, which is ridiculous. So all these people have been learning this stuff for thousands of years, passing it on. And you can go and it's almost like science has been applied to it, and they've gone, right, this is good for this.
Yeah.
And they're watching you and going, not what exactly is going on with him, but what sort of place is he in?
Yeah.
You know, what does he need? Oh, he needs a bit of this.
Right.
He needs a bit of like the tummy rub, or he needs, you know, and they know ways to stimulate you and make you have a pleasant experience, you know, or if you're having a challenging experience, they might know to not necessarily try and take you away from it.
Yeah,
but
and
to try and find a way for you to explore it.
Yeah, and accept that.
Yeah. So like, the knowledge that they've got will definitely add a level to it that you won't get anywhere else.
Yeah.
Definitely.
But then there's that fear of like you were saying about going to like a fucking cowboy. You know what I mean? And that's just a shame that that's now a thing, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I mean, there was a thing about a death that was the shaman, I don't know whether he got an unjust bad time for or not, but he'd basically given too much tobacco in the tobacco ceremonies previously to someone who was slightly more sensitive to tobacco than most people are, so it wasn't something not something he'd come across before.
Right.
He was giving him the dose that he historically had seen as appropriate. Unfortunately, the guy had a reaction to it. And
Shit.
he died, you know, and then it was covered up a little bit by the shaman, apparently, and there was a bit of panic going on.
Yeah.
You know, the parents over in Australia like, my kid's dead, and
Yeah.
died in it, where's the body?
Yeah.
There's a lot of shady stuff going on around it, but, I mean, it wasn't necessarily that he was a shady practitioner, it was that he fucked up.
Yeah.
And someone died, and that's awful.
Yeah.
But
and he was trying to save his own skin.
Yeah, which none of us can say until we're in that position.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Especially if he's just done what he's normally done, and then it's just gone wrong,
and
hasn't
I
it?
think he didn't get him to hospital very quickly because he thought it was a minor thing. So maybe there was a case of slight not knowing enough about the thing.
Yeah.
And it's like not a negligence, but something like that.
Yeah.
Not being as up to date as he should have been with the thing.
Yeah.
But you can't foresee these things sometimes.
No, that's right.
And it's horrible that someone died, but you can't always paint someone as
Yeah.
a criminal. But he was getting a bit shitty about it, to be fair. Like, they're going in interview and he's like, oh, I've been doing this for years, and like getting a bit aggy and defensive.
Yeah, right.
Apologetic. Like,
Yeah.
He never seemed apologetic. But that's a show about him that had the headline like, "Oh, the world's worst ayahuasca shaman" or something. So
Yeah.
if they recorded that bit, they definitely wouldn't show it.
Yeah.
They spoke to one of the tour rep that had organised it, like the guy who had organised it, and he demonstrated more feeling, but not on camera. Like they had him with the camera on and he didn't know, and there were some bits where he expressed feeling, but on camera he was very much professional.
Right.
Towing the line to a degree. So,
Yeah.
There's another murky character. On one hand, he's sort of covering it up because that's his position, and he's saying, "Oh no, I don't take responsibility."
Yeah.
But then saying, "Personally, I do.
I'm really
as an
sorry.
employee of
Yeah.
the company, I don't take responsibility, but as a person, I do."
Yeah.
So that's another level of grey that you can add to the spectrum of humans, isn't it?
Yeah, of course it is. Yeah.
Takes all sorts.
And that all just comes down to his livelihood. He don't want to lose his shit. He's fucking putting food on the table or whatever, and it's like, he'll off camera, like, show you a bit of compassion or whatever, but then
He
when
doesn't want to risk his job.
when it's business, it's like, right, okay, fucking, I'm gonna say what I need to say here, and
Yeah, because his bosses will have said, "Well,
yeah,
we don't take responsibility, do we?"
No. Yeah.
Not at all. Yeah, he doesn't want to lose his shit, poor guy.
Yeah. Dude's just trying to he's just trying to fucking keep going, isn't he?
Yeah, he's trying to be able to book future shamanic retreats,
Yeah.
which he was doing, to be fair. But it was a horrible accident.
Yeah, that must have been pretty bad if dude was tripping out as well as like fucking.
Yeah. Well, it was the cleansing ritual before, 'cause that's what they'll often do, a cleansing ritual with tobacco.
Right. Okay.
On either the day before or before the ceremony on the same day. And that was what got him. So he hadn't actually got to the ayahuasca yet.
Right.
He's sad he'd gone all the way there to try this thing.
Ends up-
Instead, experience the other thing that we must all experience.
Yeah.
Who knows what that is?
Yeah.
Maybe it's like, all right.
Yeah.
This is pretty psychedelic anyway.
Yeah, I'll just stay here, shall I?
Yeah. It'll come back again. Who knows?
Shit. Yeah.
Be a mouse in Turkmenistan for once round.
Yeah. Yeah. We were talking earlier. We said about what was it? We were talking about how like you try to learn to live in the now. You know what I mean, and not necessarily fear things, and just be accepting of what it is. That you're experiencing, and just make the best of it. But yeah, when you talk about death, that is something that is just totally. No one knows, do they? So it's one of them things where it's like, okay, people's opinion on death is very varied and a very personal one as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Everyone has their own opinion on it.
Yeah.
Whether or not they just sort of say things to, conform and say, oh yeah, well I think this or I think that, but like deep down, deep down, it's everyone's got
probably more nuanced.
Yeah, deep down, everyone's got a different take on that, haven't they, and what they think of it.
Christian, but think heaven is a different thing.
Yeah,
Christian.
Absolutely, yeah, or whatever.
There's a nice little quote that was sampled in some hip hop tune that was, "There's a place that I call heaven. You've got to get there before you die."
Yeah, that's quality, isn't it?
Yeah, but I like that. That really stuck with me.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, I do. I think that's the way, because that's the way you've just got to look at life, isn't it? Like, we are so blessed to be living this life that we've just got to fucking make the most, enjoy it every second, and leave leave some sort of positive from it.
Yeah.
Like if it can be some sort of, you know, positive output that you've offered and shared with people or the world, then that's great, isn't it?
Yeah,
you know,
well, like everything that anybody does, you know, that ripples on.
Of course it does.
Forever.
Yeah.
That influence just keeps spreading from one person to the next.
Yeah.
Something that you might think was a throwaway thing might have hit one person deep,
and it's gone. Yeah, absolutely. That's I like to think of it in that tone. You know, that it's, you know, okay, it's going to happen to us all, but you know what, like, if we can take that positive from the here and now of it, you know, and use the, you know, the death as a reflection, you know, so when it's not, obviously, when it's happening to people around you, it's just a, you know, you're like, oh shit, we're here, aren't we? This is life, and
we're powerful teacher, grief.
Yeah,
teacher,
definitely, yeah.
Learn some of, you know, you get things from psychedelics that are like transformative, and I found things in grief that have been quite transformative. Ideas, and just the way you look at things.
Definitely, yeah.
It just brings on some real serious thinking. You've almost got to consolidate. Right, what was that? But not consciously, but you've got to kind of say, what was that person to me? And like, right, that's an end to that now.
Yeah.
Like, what does all of that compute to?
Yeah.
And like, what was the realization that they were almost inevitably going to put into me, that like, it's ended now, that's the full book.
Yeah.
What happened at the end? Like, what is the thing after it? And trying to find that's really difficult. You know?
And then also, like, you know, relating that to your book.
Yeah.
And being like, okay, so that's just happened, and I'm X amount of chapters through my book.
Yeah.
So how do I want my book to end?
Yeah, it definitely does make you reflect on your own life a lot.
Yeah, definitely.
You know, what you want. You know, and it's not always something that's easily achievable, or something that you might think is even possible. But
until you've had a go, you'll never know.
You might as well fucking do it, regardless of whether it's going to work or not.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, you've got to be cautious because things can go bad, you know, really bad.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, you can try something with the best of intentions and it go really sour.
Yeah.
You can end up in a really bad place. But you can't let the fear of that happening determine what you do. Because if you spend your time worrying about the future, you're worrying, so you're wasting your time there. You just get in your own head doing this thing that has no effect on whether or not the thing's going to happen.
Yeah.
Either you're going to have wasted your time worrying about it if it didn't happen, or it's going to happen anyway, and your worrying's not the fucking thing.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
You can think about future events, and make plans, but if you're worrying about it,
it's just a waste of time,
really
isn't it? Yeah.
You've just got this little internal monologue going on that's shitting all over you, and there's no point to it.
No.
Absolutely.
But sometimes I think sharpening your focus is good. So you mentioned there, like, right, you can think about a future event, and that can sometimes realign what is important to you. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could be like, right, okay, you know, I've been really busy doing me for 6 months, and I've not had time for this person during that whole 6 months. Now I've just seen that person, and that's going to make me refocus on how I spend my next 6 months, and how I want that person to be there a bit more than they have in the previous 6 months. So that kind of thing is an immediate change that you can make. But I definitely relate with what you're saying about how the worrying, unnecessary thinking is bad. It's not good.
It's partly unnecessary feeling. You know, I heard a good talk by somebody, and the gist of it was, it's fine to if you've got something that's worrying you, it's fine to think about it, but don't feel the feeling that you would feel if it was really happening. Think the thought, but don't feel the feeling.
Yeah, that's a really cool way to look at it, isn't it?
I think so, yeah, because then you can be a bit detached. But also, there's the argument of that fear driving you on, perhaps, and making you want to make a change so that doesn't happen.
Yeah.
So if you completely ignore the feelings attached to it, maybe you won't plan as efficiently to get around it, and maybe you'll end up in it, just the same as you would have if you'd gone too extreme the other way.
Yeah.
But,
that's...
you know, there's a balancing act there.
Yeah, there is.
Just pop into the different possibilities.
Yeah, and that balancing act is what we're all trying to fucking figure out. Yeah.
One day at a time.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
That's
Every
the
day gets weirder.
Yeah. That's what keeps us going, isn't it?
Yeah, man. Keeps society going forward and shit. Alright, man. I think we've got
Oh,
a million years.
we've just killed it, by the way. That was so much fun. I really enjoyed that, man.
What have you, tell me all the things you've got out at the minute, because you've got like a million things.
Oh, yeah.
What are you releasing?
Mate. Do you know what? Just fucking... If people are interested in the music, just hit me up. Do you know what I mean? And I'll put them onto whatever. But literally, we'd be here forever going through shit. There's a lot of stuff coming out. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff coming out.
Busy man.
There's a lot of shit out at the moment. Yeah, different aliases. Yeah. My channel's on YouTube, so my name Ryan Amos. Yeah, so just go there, and then
got loads of shit for various projects.
yeah, it's all there, and then just message me, just make friends with me on FaceAche, and then fucking come and meet me in real life. Yeah, get my phone number, and we'll just jam out.